It's just past 9 o'clock. We're about 119 or so people that are online right now. Um, you will have noticed some of the beeps that we've had when colleagues join in and out of the session has stopped. I think when we had that hard reset on the meeting yesterday, it reset some of the settings, and so those beeps have now fallen away as these settings have come in. I think before we start, I'm just seeing more names pop in. Maybe we'll wait 2 or 3 minutes before we get started, and just to let a few more colleagues join, and then we'll kick off in earnest.
Well done, Krish. You know, those beeps were irritating, man.
No, we learned something.
Yes, that's true for those beeps.
It's not working. 40. Let's just see as the numbers come in. Can I just confirm before we go on? I know Pretoria is here. I saw the CPUT camera on earlier. I believe Peter Maritzburg is in, and Kim, you're on as well in Durban. Okay, wonderful.
Morning, Krish. Khadija,
Morning, Khadija.
we are having a problem connecting the room because we're having a short at this point. So we were logged on and then we were kicked off twice now. So we're just waiting for someone to come and resolve the issue.
So are you huddled around your laptop at the moment?
Kinda, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck. Hope everything gets sorted.
Thanks.
Sure. Yeah, and just update us on WhatsApp how things are going. Okay, colleagues, we're at about 156. I think that's a good number to begin with. I've done meetings in the past where I've spoken to 2 or 3 people. So to have 156 joining us on a third day, where we've done some intense discussions and I think some intense exercises is really heartwarming for us to see. And we appreciate all the interest and the support that we've had in conducting these programs. There's a comment there from Ellen. Please let me in. So thank you again. So it's as I'm saying, really wonderful that we can keep going today. Sometimes you might feel the day is long, but I think as we're going through the exercises you've been finding, I'm sure that we've been running out of time to go through them in more detail in some instances. What we've been able to achieve, I think, over the last few days, just to go over where we started off on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we did a whole presentation about what this AI trajectory is all about, explaining what it means to be on this road to super intelligence. We then covered issues of AI ethics and how we should be thinking about ethically applying AI in the research that we do. That underscores all the work that we're doing in this program as we've expanded it. So it's a nice foundation for us to work from there. After that, we explored different prompting strategies, and we spoke about systems 1 and systems 2. And the idea being, if you ask a clearer, more detailed question, you get better answers. And so we've tried to apply that logic in the way we've done our prompting since there. And so I hope you've noticed the way we've been structuring the prompts in the different exercises. Yesterday was the qualitative day, and we spoke a lot about how we could use AI to analyze the literature, to be able to extract literature. And then we fed much of that data into Notebook LM. And we went through different exercises and we're showing you how to explore data um, within Notebook LM, taking you all to the point where you might be able to then feed that into into working on a systematic literature review using these tools. So we've given you some of the building blocks for you to be able to do this on your own. After lunch yesterday, we spoke about proposal writing techniques. So we tried to apply what we learned in the morning session into writing proposals. And then we closed the day with a quick review of the various AI agents that are out there that could be useful for you. And we tried to focus on what's free so you know what you'd be able to use today. For today, we have just one session, one module, and it's all focusing on quantitative research. It's about the numbers. How do we analyze numbers in using AI? And so today we kick off, we probably head towards about 12 or so, where we'll be conducting these different exercises that we have on the program for today. And then beyond that, we'll do a quick recap of what we've learned over the last 3 days and have a discussion if needed about where we go from here. We also have an evaluation form which we'll share with you right at the end. Morning, welcome. And you will share that with you towards the end of the day, and you can just give us some feedback about what the experience has been like attending over the last few days. And so that will help us build for the future, think about how we improve what we're doing so that we can be more focused and more in line with what your expectations might be. Yeah, so that's the plan for today. Let me start off before we even get into the presentation. I have I've got another Mentimeter for us. So I'm going to put this on the screen. A second. Yeah, colleagues, so if you can scan that QR code or go to mentimeter.com and punch in 55673664. And feel free to share your thoughts on how strong are your quantitative research skills. Often I know my talking for myself and for many other colleagues that I've been in touch with, numbers sometimes can be a bit intimidating. And so we tend to avoid sometimes working with performing quantitative research. So that's fine. That's natural. And today we're going to see how we might be using AI to assist you in the work that you do. Give it a few minutes. We have about 69 responses so far. So colleagues, I think it's fair to say that many of us feel like we need some help when we work with AI. I'm glad to see that we have a decent amount of colleagues on the call with us that have strong quantitative research skills, and they can then support us in the work that we're going to be doing today. If I have to speak for myself, I probably fall in the fair category. I don't suppose I've got strong skills. I understand the basics that are there, but I'm sure my skills could be improved. And so what we're going to try and show you today is how you might be able to use AI to help complement the knowledge that you do have to help you analyze data sets using very nice tool that's free today. Yeah, we've got about 107 or so people that have come on. And so these are interesting stats for us to consider. And then I've got one more slide after this. We'll move to the next one. Have you ever written Python code before? Let's see how this fares. They just come to email address. Yeah, colleagues, so you can have a look at these results. So we have 75%, a strong majority of us is saying we haven't written Python code before. And so my message to you today is at the end of this day, all of us would have written some form of Python code today. And so this number is going to flip 100 to 0. So that's the ability that you're going to gain today, where we're going to be using AI to generate Python code to analyze a data set. And we'll show you how you go about doing that step by step. Colleagues, if you've been working with the lesson plan from the Google Drive folder, the next point is that I made a few additions, edits to the lesson plan last night and this morning. So if you actually go back and download the latest version of the lesson plan, it will have a few changes there. The session today is a little bit technical. We've tried to give you detailed instructions in the lesson plan as to how we go about doing the carrying out these exercises. And so I think you should be able to follow it, and we'll try and guide you along the way, explaining what it's actually doing. Before we get going, I'm going to pop the link of the shared folder back into the chat, and so you can access the documents from that shared folder again today. So yeah, let's jump into it. Just as in the previous days, I haven't got a very heavy presentation. It's more practical than theoretical. I'll share a few thoughts on why we want to use AI in quantitative research to begin with, and then we're going to jump into the exercises, and we'll take it step by step. Jolene's asking just the one document of lesson plans. It's that lesson plan document that you'll find in the Google Drive folder. So it's going to be that one there. And I also did add a few more documents into the module 8 folder, which we might refer to later. The main ones are going to be mockdata.csv, mockdata.xlsx. Yeah, okay, so let's get moving. So many of us, I imagine, have some hesitancy when it comes to quantitative research. As I was saying, numbers can be somewhat intimidating. And there's a lot of manual work that goes into getting your data set ready to address the cleaning and many manual corrections that need to take place, which takes up a lot of your time. And so you spend a lot of the time on the nuts and bolts, trying to figure out how to connect the variables together before actually doing that, the critical thinking, the more detailed understanding of what's involved in the in exploring and examining the data that you do have. And so often these are manual processes. They take a lot of time. and sometimes it's difficult to find those key patterns that are embedded within the data that you need to explore. And so with AI, there's opportunities here to accelerate the path to those nuanced, descriptive, and sometimes more advanced statistical analyses that can be performed on this data. And so we're going to show you how you can go about doing that. And by using the code, the automated processes that we have, the amounts of errors that you could introduce into the process can be far reduced, making it a little easier for you to get to the analysis. And we'll show you how you might also automate this process, and how you could fix up some of the messy data that you might have, or also to generate Python code, as we'll be doing in this exercise. So we'll show you how you can work with different tools, how you can experiment and try and get faster to the analysis that needs to be performed to understand your data better. And so this just, the more you use this, you'll find that now statistical analysis becomes something that everybody can do, not just some people can do. Often in our research teams, we have one or two people that are the stats experts, and they are the ones that then carry the burden of the statistical analysis. With tools like this, I feel like we can open the door for more colleagues to jump in and assist and contribute to this statistical analysis that can be performed. So yeah, this so it helps researchers in interpreting the data, and you are less focused on the code and the technicalities of performing these analysis. And you can try out different things far more quickly. So you can say, okay, I didn't like that output. Let's try a different combination of variables and see what happens with the outputs that you generate. And these tools can also be used to generate very nice charts and tables and so on that can really save you time in formatting and so on. So the challenge that we've had in preparing the exercises that we have today is that many of us work in on different data analysis platforms. Some use SPSS, some use SAS, some use Stata, some have their data in a database. And so the question is, how do we explain the process without getting into the details of these tools? And so what I've decided to do is share with you a CSV file and an Excel file, because these are more easily available. I'm sure everyone has access to that sort of information or those tools to analyze that. But the same process can be applied with SPSS, SAV file, a Stata DTA file, and I forget what the SAS data type is. But the principles that we apply here on working with the CSV is what you would also apply with these different data formats. And so we don't have a very big data set to begin with today. It's relatively small, but the principle is there about how you would analyze it. And then I had a look at some of the different chatbots that are out there that allow you to upload Excel files. And so what you actually find is that many don't allow you, or some do quantitative analysis, not all of them do allow you to upload an Excel file. Sasha, I see you've managed to get the power back up. That's great. Great. So yeah, I was saying, so not all of the tools allow you to upload an Excel file. In fact, when you look at these tools, from what I recall, it's ChatGPT and Z.ai that allow you to upload an Excel file. The others will allow you to upload a CSV file. The issue is when you're doing analysis on many of the tools that are paid, there's limitations in the number of questions that you could run. So let's say you're using Claude and you upload the CSV file and you wanted to perform some analysis. You'll be able to ask 5 or 6 questions before it says you run out of questions for the next 5 or 6 hours. And so you're then waiting. On Manus and Genspark, yesterday we spoke about these tools and the types of analysis that they can do. They're somewhat different from your ChatGPT and your Claudes and your Zed and Quinn and so on, because those are agents and there's limited credits that you can work with. The same goes for Julius. I found Z.ai is actually one of the better tools for performing coding. And so if you want to work directly in Z.ai, you'll probably find good results. The first iteration of the exercise that we have is that we were going to use Z.ai to generate VBA code. And so we tried that out a few times and we found that the VBA code that it was actually generating was somewhat more error prone. And so we've got a very interesting tool that we've now opted for, which will allow us to generate the Python code, which will give us much better results. And so I'm not sure if any of you have heard of the term vibe coding before. That's what we're going to be doing today. Vibe coding is where you're vibing, as they say, with the AI. And so you'll be saying, I want to do this and this and this, and you'll give it the data, and then it will start generating the code to analyze the information. If it doesn't work, you've got to say, okay, try something else, try and debug it. So that's the vibing process that they refer to. So it doesn't work perfectly all the time, but there's but the tool that we're going to be using is actually has very good results most of the time. So I hope you will enjoy that. So what tool are we using? It's actually called Google Colab. And it's a tool that I've started using more so this week. I've known about it for a while. I just haven't really been using it. But it's a very nice tool. One is because it's cloud-based and it's free. And so all of us can access it right now. And it uses the latest Gemini model to perform, to conduct the AI generation. And what you'll find is that Gemini is actually embedded into Google Colab. And so there's a series of boxes that you work with, and you will click on the generate button, and it will allow you to insert your natural language query, and that will then generate the code that will work with it. But more so than just generating code, it's also an AI agent. And so if you remember what we discussed yesterday, the AI agent is an AI tool which can work a little bit more autonomously. And so you'll give it a task, and then it will iterate a few times to try and solve that problem. And so that's one of the nice things there, is that if it fails the first time, it will try again. It might run through a few iterations and still fail, but at that point we can step in and say, try this, try something else, and see how it does. And what Google Colab does is it's a space where you can work with Python code. And so you can now generate Python code with the AI tool that's there. And apparently Python is one of the preferred languages for performing data science, and is often used in coding for AI. And so another big plus here is that you don't need to install anything on your machine. It's all on the Google server. So you just go to colab.research.google.com, and you'd be able to access it there. And you then have access to Google's resources there, processing power, and so on. And so the tool will then be able to analyze your data on their server. The limitations that you have here, it will be based on how much space you have in your Google Drive. And it will be, I guess, limited by the number of resources that Google associates with your account as you run with that. And a nice thing about the Google Colab tool is, as you create a project on there, you could then share that project with others, and they could access the code that you've then generated. So yeah, Google Colab is a nice AI agent that's free, that will allow you to do this analysis. And so the next question is, why are we using Python and not some of the other languages? What you'll find with these large language models is that there's more data about Python code on the internet that's now gone into the training data of these models. And so these AI models are actually much stronger in writing Python code than they would be in writing Visual Basic code, for instance, or SAS code or status scripts. And so it will provide you better results if you're working with Python. And then Python is also open source and free, and so you don't need to be downloading or paying for new software to work with it. So you could actually install Python on your own computer and then run it there if you wish to. We're going to use the Colab environment so that you don't have to do that installation on your side. Okay, so that's the background to what we're going to try and do today. And so we've got about 8 different exercises that we're going to try and complete in the course of the day. I see a hand up. Is that Chantal? Go ahead, Chantal.
Good morning, Mr. Chetty. Good morning, colleagues. I just wanted to ask a question based on what you said. If we have limited Google Drive storage, like in my case, my Google Drive is almost full. Do you think it's necessary for me to download Python and install it on my PC?
It'll probably be a bit more difficult to install Python right now. You could. It takes a little bit of time to do that, and so you've got to also follow a sequence of steps to have Python set up. Potentially, what you could do if you are completely out of space on Google Drive, you could create a new Google account and work in that space, and then you should have, I think, 15 gigs free on the new account to begin with. If you have a few hundred megs spare in your drive, I think you should still have enough space to carry out the activities. Well, actually, less than 100 should be enough. Carry out today's activity. Okay, colleagues, so we will gradually get more and more intensive in the types of analysis that we're going to be doing today. So we're going to start off with cleaning our data set in ChatGPT. Then we're going to shift and we're going to now try and get one of your AI tools. Actually, I must change the slide. It's saying in z.ai for all of that. It's actually going to be in Google.Colab for many of them. For number 2, we're actually using, we're going to generate an Excel formula, but we'll use z.ai for that to perform the analysis. And then from exercise 3 onwards, we'll be using Google Colab. And so where we say vibe coding, we're going to generate a series of descriptive stats based on the CSV file that we have. We're going to upload that into Google Colab, and we're going to ask it to generate the descriptive stats that we need. Then we're going to use the next one, exercise 4, would be about producing a chi-square test based on the variables that are in that CSV file. We'll follow that up by performing a t-test on the same data and get it to generate results on that. Number 6 is we're going to perform a regression analysis on the same data in Colab. And then for each of the exercises from 3 to 6, we are going to get it to export that data into PDF files. And so you'll be able to see what the data looks like, the results of that in the PDF. Then we're going to download those PDFs and we're going to put it into another chatbot, and we're going to ask it to generate a narrative based on all the results that have been generated. And we'll have a look to see how well it's produced that narrative. And then I'm going to show you how we might use Manus or Genspark to perform all of this analysis that we've done one by one in Colab. I'll show you what it's like to actually upload it and then one-shot it in Manus, meaning that we'll ask one question, we say, perform the statistical analysis, and we let it go, and we see what it does. So that will show you the difference between our step-by-step approach, which we're following with Colab, versus what's possible if you have one of these paid accounts on Manus to do that more consistently. But you'll be able to do it for one, but you won't be able to do it more than that in a day because you're likely to run out of credits. Okay, yeah, that's the story there. Let me just go to the document. Okay, colleagues, so here we are. This is a screenshot of the spreadsheet that's in the folder. To reiterate, if you're in the Google Drive folder and you go to module 8, you will find mockdata.csv and mockdata.xlsx. So let me go there. Got it. Fine. So if you open the mock data Excel file, you can have a look at this. So this is the name is mock data because I generated a data set, and I actually asked ChatGPT to generate this data set based on some results. I asked it to imagine it was filling in a form, and it was giving us data about AI adoption in South Africa. So a very generic set of questions. And so you can see we've got information like gender, country, education, usage frequency, primary users, ease of use, satisfaction, trust level, feature, importance, and ranking. And so there's some data that's been clustered there. Frustrations, productivity impact, desired improvements, recommendation, and examples of helpfulness. And so we're going to get it to try and analyze this data and give us some results. Yeah, so if you look at the data, if you look at age group, for instance, you'll notice the age group data has come through with some dirty data. We've got these funny characters which have come in, and so now we need to clean up this data so that we don't have those characters displayed. So you could do this in two ways. You could, because it's a small enough data set, you could upload this into ChatGPT, and you, if you have available questions for the day, you'll see that ChatGPT can read the data and then make the change and then give you the data back to download. Or the alternative is for you to write a formula to remove that, remove those errors in the data. So let's start with the first one. We're going to try and clean up age group, and we're going to upload this Excel file into ChatGPT. I'm using ChatGPT because it's good with the data analysis, and it does allow me to upload Excel files in that tool. So yeah, if you download those files to your machine, you should be able to then work with us in the exercise. So we'll follow the instructions that we've provided. So exercise 1 is quite easy. You download that mock data Excel file to your computer, and you then upload it into the chatbot of your, which should be ChatGPT. And you need to ensure that the spreadsheet is closed on your machine before you actually run it. And so then we have a prompt which is relatively basic here. And so you'll notice in the prompt, I'm telling it what I need to do. So I'm saying the data in my spreadsheet has formatting errors in the first column for age groups. Please fix the age groups in column A on the mock data sheet. Once complete, please provide a new updated spreadsheet I can download. Is there another hand? Petronella, you want to come in?
Sorry, Krish, the question was addressed.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah, so we're going to copy this data, this prompt, and we're going to go to ChatGPT. We're going to run it here. And so you're going to see it's going to analyze that spreadsheet. And you can see in ChatGPT, it's actually writing Python code. Oh. I think I've been using it too much on my side. So it's saying I've got a limit to actually do that. I'm going to move it to a different account. Or maybe the server is busy right now. So that's why the limits actually change based on how much people are using it at any point in time. I'm going to copy this again. I'm going to go to a different account just to show you in principle how it works. Two hands. Nizam. And Nizam, if you want to come in. And Nizam, are you there? Now the second hand was. Adley, are you also, you have a question?
No, thanks. No, I just wanted to flag that when I want to upload the data, I actually looked at the system file, which was the whole zip file, and then accidentally clicked on it. So I just got kicked out from ChatGPT because it says now I want to do something. I need to upgrade because maybe the data file was just a small error. But now I'm sitting, so I'm watching. Thanks.
Hello, I'm back. Can you hear me? Hi.
Is that Nizam?
Yes,
you can go
hello.
ahead.
Yes, I'm just struggling to find the page you're working from. I only see exercise 3 on module 8, and you were at exercise 1. So where do we find that page that you're looking at now?
It should be right at the start of module 8.
Start of module 8.
Perhaps you need to go back and download it again because I did make changes. I'm wondering if something has changed on your side. Or perhaps someone has deleted it by accident.
So I see exercise 3A, 3B, 4. I don't see something called exercise 1. Or what I'm actually looking for is that sheet that you're working from that has from day 1 all the stuff, I think, until where we are now. Is that the page that you're working from?
Let me double check. So I'm going into the Google Drive where we're working from. And I'm going to scroll to.
Yes, so that page that you're scrolling on, where do I find that page? That's the one I'm saying now.
This is on Google Drive.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do, I'll copy this link back into the chat for you.
Okay.
And you can then work from there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so just follow that link. And then in that folder, Nizam, you should be able to find the lesson plan. You might be accessing a different file from somewhere.
Okay, thanks so much.
CPUT?
Hi, Chris. So a lot of us are getting a response indicating that our version of ChatGPT can't really process the request.
Yes. So I think many of us are having the same problem, Anila. There seems to be an issue with ChatGPT this morning. I see a comment, someone, Razia has been using Z.ai and it worked. So let's try that one. So when you do the sort of analysis, it is a little bit more intense. And so if you're on the free version, I guess they categorize it as something that requires more resources. My Z.ai couldn't find the new mock data file. Stream. Okay, we'll try it now in Z.ai. If it doesn't work with the spreadsheet, you can try upload the CSV file that's in the folder as well. Petronella?
Krish, Carl is explaining that Copilot is working with when you enable ChatGPT 5.
Copilot allows you to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, let's try it out here in Z.ai. So I'm able to upload the Excel file here. Let me get the prompt. See if I'll be able to get it working here on Z.ai. Just wait for it to analyze the data. So if you do see the thinking that it's saying, it's noticing those funny characters that were in the data. And it's saying this is a common issue with text is encoded in this UTF format. So let's see what it does. Let's see another. So Hopatso says how ChatGPT 5 is working. So this is generating data. It's actually pulling out all the data in the spreadsheet. Do the same thing in ChatGPT while this is going on. So this is a paid account, and we'll see how this one works. So ChatGPT is generating code again, analyzing it. And so here we'll see what ChatGPT has done is it's giving you a link to download that data. Click that. Called mock data cleaned. And I will open that. So you'll see that it's generated the new data. But what you want to do, you want to actually be careful doing this sort of thing in ChatGPT, also because you're now expecting it to generate all this other text that's here in the spreadsheet to get it absolutely perfect. I was just trying to show you in this example that it's possible for ChatGPT to work on a spreadsheet and give you back a link that fixes a particular problem. You'd have to check that all of this data actually matches up with the other data before, if you want to trust it to do this sort of thing normally. But I'm just trying to show you how that might work. The other step that I wanted to do, which is exercise 2, is to generate a formula to solve that problem of formatting. So I'm back here with the old one. I'm just going to create a new column where I'm going to create a new field. And so we go back to the exercise, and we're going to do exercise 2. So exercise 2 is going to involve using chat.z.ai. I'm going to put that in here. Got z.ai coming up, logged in, and so we're going to upload that spreadsheet again so that it has some context about what we want it to look at. And then we've got the instruction here to generate a single Excel formula to clean the age group data, which is located in cell A2 in that spreadsheet. I want to change occurrences of that funny character with just a hyphen. The formula should be able to be dragged down for the rest of the column. So I give it an example of what the problem looks like and what I would like the output to look like. So it's aware of that. So I'll copy that. We put on this. I will put the deep think on so it can think a little bit more deeply. And I will also upload mockdata.xlsx to this one. And so we let this generate. And you'll see that it will understand the problem, and it will, if it gets it right, sometimes it can make mistakes. But it's going to generate an Excel formula for us to solve this problem. So you see, it's thinking about it, and it got there pretty quickly. And so it says that we're going to use the substitute function, and it's giving you the details of what needs to be replaced and what it should be replaced with. So if I copy that formula using the copy button just above the code, so you see there's the code is here, substitute there, and there's a copy button. You press that, and so that goes into your clipboard, and then you go back to your spreadsheet. You insert a new column between the old A and B, and that will create a new column here for you. We'll go to cell B2. I'm on B2, and I'm going to paste in that formula that I just received, and I'm going to press enter there. And so you'll see it's actually generated that correctly. If I double click in the corner, the bottom right-hand corner, it will run that formula down across all the cells. I could also copy it because it's not using that dollar symbol anyway in this formula. It should be able to run perfectly well across all the entries in this data.
Sorry, Krish.
Yes, go ahead, Petronella.
Will you please maybe just show again how to upload the Excel file? Some of the colleagues are struggling, and some I think they have not been following.
Okay, sure, we'll do that again. So it's relatively easy. I'll just zoom out a bit so you can see my whole screen more clearly. There's the plus icon. The plus icon in the chat box that's there. You press that, and that will allow you to browse to wherever you've saved the pack of documents. So on my computer, I've got a module 8 folder. I've got many variations of mock data because I've done this many times over. But on your computer, you should have mockdata.xlsx, which you could then upload. So you would just find it, select it, and open that. Nizam, is that you?
Yes, Prof. My Zain answer comes in Chinese, I think. I don't know. I'm looking for a translate button somewhere, but I only see line wrapping, collapse, and copy. Did I do something wrong?
No. It's a Chinese model, and so this is one of the issues with with the Chinese models is that they sometimes tend to alternate between English and Chinese. Usually when you ask the question in English, it will respond in English. But I think with many of us doing the same thing, it's just law of averages. Someone's going to get Chinese coming back, unfortunately.
Okay, so I see here's the
so,
option
yeah.
that says regenerate. So I probably just click that.
You could try that and see if it'll give you the English. If it doesn't, create a new chat and try again. And sometimes it'll get stuck in that frame of thinking. And if it finds a lot of Chinese language in the reasoning, it might end up just giving you more Chinese. So a new chat might be the easier option.
Okay, I just said regenerate. Here it comes. Okay, I said regenerate, and it's giving answers now in English. I'll check if my answers look like your answers. Thank you.
Yeah, you should get a substitute formula. I think that's most likely. Cindy? Cindy, you want to say something? Good morning.
Yes, I just wanted to ask, is there a limitation when it comes to the amount of data? Because I've noticed that when you sometimes use AI tools compared to other statistical tools, like Stata, Statistica, and SPSS, it sort of rejects or gives you an error message that your data is too large. So I'm not sure whether there's a way in which we can tackle this.
I'm not sure offhand what the limit is. Let me ask the question. What is the limit for the file size upload limit when I use ChatGPT? My gut is that it's somewhere around 10 megs to 50 megs. But let's see what. On the internet search so that I can find answers on the internet. It's 512 megs, so perhaps that's pretty large. We can test that out. Maybe there might be differences. Let's ask it, are there differences between free and paid? So on the free one, you get 3 files per day. So that's not a lot of files that you can upload on the free one. There is a per file size cap of 512 for all, but in practice, spreadsheet files often have stricter usable limits, approximately 50 megabytes. So that was my gut feel there. Free users are subject to tighter message interaction quota, approximately 10 messages every 5 hours. So yeah, that's what we've been saying today. But it seems like there are other limitations also when on the free version when the model is being used quite heavily. There was another hand. It's Maritzburg. But no, not you. Oh, sorry. So first, Maruf, are you there? Maruf, are you able to unmute? Okay, Maruf might be having connection problems. I recall there were some issues for him yesterday. Chantal, I see your hand is raised as well. Maruf is saying, can we unmute him?
Also know to copy the formula.
Yes.
So,
You're struggling with copying the formula?
Yes, the substitute formula or the substitute function.
So you can see how I've got it generated on my side. Do you have a a similar formula generated on your side?
Yes, but I want to
Okay.
copy it from zip.ai.
So the copy should be a simple process of pressing that copy button. If you can see where my mouse is on the screen, I'm just going to click on the copy button. Got that? And then it says copy very quickly as I've done it. So it's then taken that formula and pushed it into your clipboard. And okay, so it's in memory on your computer, and you go back to your spreadsheet. And I'll just delete that, and I will paste. My computer is also. I will just paste that in the formula bar, and you'll see the substitute formula has come in there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Maruf, are you able to come in now?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Very well. Thank you very much, Krish. Sorry, I was wondering. It appears as if the special characters under this column, the age group, they are fairly the same. So would that be a problem if they are different? If those errors in those age groups they are different, would that be because I understand the way the formula was structured is as if they were referring specifically to those special characters.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You could have a more complicated formula. So I just tried to keep it simple to explain the point of what's possible. So you could have many different variations. And so you could then get it to generate a more complex folder. But what you would need to say is, this is the input example, this is the output that I wanted to see. And so give it those few variations in the prompt. And then that will give you a more complex folder to address the multiple scenarios that you wanted to deal with. And so it will understand how to handle the logic on that and generate a more complicated formula. Might take a bit longer, but I think it can get to it. And the second hand is from Maranjas. Are you able to unmute?
Yes, it generated a new corrected data for age for me, but it's not in a column. How can I find the formula? I can't find any formula on Z.ai.
So have you been able to generate a formula like what you see on the screen right now with the substitute function? Did that come up on Z.ai for you?
No, I don't know what to go after that. I just uploaded the Excel file, and I gave the prompt to correct the age group data in the cell A2, but it didn't give me back an Excel file. It just narrated the whole age and the whole data on the age, but I can't see any formula. I can show you.
So it's not going to give you back the a spreadsheet to download. It's going to give you back a formula to copy. But what you can do, you can share your screen if you like, and we can have a look at
okay.
your screen. We'll just raise you to presenter level. I think that will allow you to do it. You can go ahead.
Okay, I'm sharing I don't know if you can see my screen.
Not yet.
I try to. I'm just trying to share, but share screen is not coming up. I'm sorry. It says choose what you want to share. Okay, I'm choosing what I want to share. And I clicked share, but I'm going to the screen. Can you see that?
No, it hasn't come through yet. Could you try share your entire screen and not just the window? Maybe that might work.
Do you see that?
No, not yet. What you could also do is take a screenshot of your browser window, and that would be by pressing the print screen button on your machine and then pasting that screenshot into the chat, and I should be able to see it that way.
Okay, I'm doing that. Do you see that?
I need to scroll down more. Not yet. You must press the enter button.
Yeah,
You can paste it.
I just take the shot and then entered. You see that? I see it here, but I don't know how can I show it to you. Another way.
Might take a minute or so to come through. There's a question while we're waiting for the screenshot. I see a question from Bianca about, does AI keep your Excel data in its memory, and can it then be used by others or the AI itself in future? The answer is yes. So whatever you're uploading into ChatGPT, it will upload it. That's why I generated mock data, because I'm not trying to put anybody's data in jeopardy. The other thing that you'd need to then, I guess, have ethical approval to be able to upload anonymized data into a chatbot if you wanted to do that. So always keep that in mind with the AI. If you did have Python running locally on your machine, you could then give the AI a sense of the table structure that you have. So I see Razia has a problem with the formula. So Razia, if you had a problem with the formula, you could take that same screenshot and put it into the chatbot and ask it to try again. So I'll show you what I mean. I will just copy your query, copy that image, and we'll delete that. So I would just paste it in there. So I press Control V. You could have pressed paste, and then you say, you can say, I have this error message. And say, please try again. Razia, and then that could fix the problem. It does become an iterative process to sometimes colleagues if it does make a mistake on the first try. Let's just go back and see if Ranj's screenshot has come through. Still nothing as yet.
Do you? Okay. I'm not sure if I can share. It's not coming through this case.
Are you able to try sharing again? No. Nizam, you've got a question?
Hi, hello. Okay, I think sometimes people don't answer quick enough because it takes a while for us to become unmuted from your side. But my question was regarding this share folder. Should we download everything, or will we always have access to this to work through?
I'm going to leave the folder up so you can download it again in future if you want to use it. But
Okay.
I'd recommend you get a copy locally to work from.
Okay, so we download each module. So it starts on module 2. Is module 1 missing, or is that supposed to be like that?
It's supposed to be like that. There weren't any additional documents that were relevant to module 1.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Okay, colleagues, I'm going to move on to the next exercise, and we'll come back to this if anybody's having any other issues with this. The idea is that you need to recognize that the AI can generate Excel formulae for you. And so if you're struggling with getting the right formula, you can always ask the AI to help you just explain what the problem is. Sometimes you don't have to upload the entire spreadsheet. You could just take a screenshot of the issue that you're trying to fix, and it will be able to understand what you're referring to. But if you are doing the screenshot, you'd also want to identify what cell is the one that you are trying to work on. And so you would say, use cell A2 or whatever it might be so that it can get it to work. Okay, I see, Razia, you've come right with your one. Okay, colleagues, so we're moving into Colab, then the exciting space of Google Colab, where we can now start to do very complicated Python scripts, which should come now from exercise 3 onwards. So I'm going back to the document, and colleagues, you will see if you go down, I've tried to give you as detailed instructions as I can with the Google Colab. And so basically, first point is you go to the colab.research.google.com and you go to that website. It will need you to sign in with your Google account if you haven't signed in already to Google. And when you get there, you're going to get this pop-up will show on your window, and you are going to want to press the new notebook option. So this is a notebook using the language of Colab, not the notebook using the language of Notebook LM. So just remember this, Google tends to use this word notebook quite a lot. But this is referring to your data. Once you create the new notebook, let me do that step, and I'll talk you through what you see in notebook. So I've gone to colab.research.google, and I've got that pop-up which came. So you've seen I've already signed in. That's why you see my profile picture is in the top right-hand corner. I want to create a new notebook. So I'm going to press the new notebook. And so this will take a few under a minute, I imagine, to get everything right for it to load on your space. And so what you'll see is that it's got this blank page almost, which comes to you, which you've now got to try and understand what all these different buttons refer to. So right at the top left-hand corner, there's the name of the project. And so you could change that to refer to whatever it is that you're working on. I think I made a proposal in the exercise to say survey data analysis. So you could change that there. And then you have this big blue box. Let me zoom in a bit more. So you have this big blue box in the center, which is quite important. When you you could type in code into that box, and it will then, if your code is right, it will execute and it will try to provide you answers related to that. Or if you want the AI to write the code for you, you would press that generate link, which is in the middle. And so the way Colab works is that it's based on a series of these boxes. So you can do your analysis in steps. And so you could have one step to do the first thing, and then once you're finished with the second step, you would press that plus code a button in the menu on the top left, and then that would create a new box where you can add new code or have it generate new code for you. And then when you want to execute it, you can press this little triangle here in the circle. Or if you wanted to run everything all at once, you could press run all and it will execute all the steps that you have. The other key thing that you want to work with is we want to upload our data into this project. And so to do that, we're going to use this files icon in the far left-hand side. So you press on files, and once you press on it, you've got to wait a few minutes, less than a minute, where it gets the environment right. So you can see it took a while before those icons started to show, and then it created this folder structure. So it's what that delay was because it was trying to get the environment ready for you. And once that's done, you can then upload your data to this particular project, and then we can start working with the code that's there. So that's a quick overview. I'm going to go back to the exercise documents to explain what's next. So we're going to rename that notebook to Survey Data Analysis. I'm going to call mine Survey Data Analysis 3 because I've done this many times. There might be a clash on my side. So I've renamed it there. I'm sure this is new for many of you, so I'm going to try and go as slowly as I can so you can follow what I've done. So I've created the new project, I've renamed it, and I am now ready to upload my CSV file, which is in my folder. So on your side, you should see a files icon in the far left. You're going to click that, and you're going to give it a few seconds. You're going to wait till these icons below files become visible. And so once that's done, what we're going to do is we're going to upload we're not going to upload the Excel file. I'm going to upload the CSV file that's in that folder. You could upload the Excel file. CSV, I find, often works better just because it's simpler for the AI to generate. It doesn't have to create code to convert the Excel into a different format for you to work with. So we'll work with the CSV file in just the hopes that it will have more success generating the code for us. So I press the upload button, and now I'm going to my folder and I'm going to upload mockdata.csv into this project. So as you can see, I'm in my folder. I've got many different variations. You probably have less file types and files in your folder, but you want the mockdata.csv. And so once you found it, you can then open it. It's going to give me this warning. It's telling you that your files are saved elsewhere. And when you leave the project, your files will be deleted. So just remember that. So if you're coming back to it and you want it to carry on the next day, these files are going to be gone. So if you want to analyze it tomorrow, you're going to have to upload your file again to begin with tomorrow. It's trying to save space because they've got limited space on their side, so they won't keep your data indefinitely. So once I've uploaded my file, you should see it reflecting under sample data. Okay, there is a hand. Rachel, you can go ahead.
Okay. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Rachel.
Okay, thank you. After you pre-process the data to clean the age group data, did you delete that age group column?
I had two file versions in there. I've actually uploaded the dirty file into Notebook. You can have deleted it and then worked with the clean one. If you delete it, remember you're in Excel. The formula that you have, the new formula is actually not going to make sense because the data is now gone. So you would have wanted to copy and paste that data as values
Okay.
before you delete the original data that was dirty. You also want to have checked it to make sure that it's accurate before you delete data. I think that's also good practice with when you're working with survey data. Or you don't often I'm sure many colleagues will say don't delete the data, show the different revisions that you make to that data. I saw a few questions in the chat. So you upload what you were previously working on the day before. That's right. So if you come back to this project tomorrow, make sure you upload the CSV file again. And then Maruf is asking, does Colab work with Stata and SPSS? Yes, it does. So you can upload a .sav file, and you can upload I think it's .dta with Stata. And Python has that ability to use its libraries to analyze that data. Okay, colleagues, so we reached a point where we've uploaded the data. What we're going to do now is run the prompt that's there. So the first prompt that you have is going to just help you preview the data that you have. There's another hand. Jabulani, unmuted. Jabulani, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Good morning. On my side, when I'm uploading, I went to the files. It uploaded the whole module 8. It doesn't want to open. When I click on it, it takes the whole module 8 into the files there, and it doesn't want me to open, so that I choose the CSV file.
Did you download everything as a zipped file to your computer?
Yes.
I think you need to unzip that zip file so that all the files are unzipped, and then save that in a particular space on your computer, and then browse to that new space where your files are.
Thank you.
And Chantal, do you have a question as well? Can we unmute Chantal? It's still showing blocked there. Try again, Chantal.
Thank you, Mr. Chetty. Yes, I had a similar problem with the zip file, so I extracted all the files of module 8. And then when I tried to upload the CSV file, it actually shows as a Excel file. It doesn't show like CSV.
When you browse, can you see the CSV file, or do you only see the Excel file?
Like when I'm on the drive, the link that you gave us, so when I'm on the drive, I can see it as a CSV file. But after I downloaded the zip file onto my local drive and then extracted, I don't see it as a CSV file. It's just a Excel.
You could try just download the CSV file again if there was an error. So if you go back to module 8 and download that could also work. And then you could save that somewhere on your computer.
Okay, I will try that. Thank you.
Okay, so colleagues, I'm going to do the first prompt now in Colab. So I'm copying this one. This prompt, which I'm calling exercise 3A, is going to read that CSV file, and it's just going to display the first 10 rows. It's going to show you basic information about what data is in there. This is to prove that the data does exist on Colab and that you can now start working on it. So This is just to help us to make sure that Colab and Python have access to that data. So to do that, you come back to Colab, you would have copied that prompt from the Word document, and you are going to press the generate link inside that box that's there. So if you see where my mouse is now, colleagues, I'm just pausing for a while so everyone to have a look at where I am on the screen. You're going to press that generate link. Once you click that, it's opening up this chat window on top of the screen that was there before. And so this might look familiar. It's got a similar chat feel that many of the other chatbots have. And so this chat box is going to know that it's referring to this particular code box that we have above. And it's going to also have access to the files that are in this project. And so I'm pasting in that prompt. You'll notice that my prompt is referring to mockdata.csv. I'm saying that I've uploaded it to Colab. I'm asking it to generate Python code. That is the default that it does. So I'm just being pedantic. I'm telling it to use the CSV file using pandas. It would do that by default. What I'm trying to do is just make sure that more of us have fewer errors. So the way I got to this prompt, just out of interest, I went to a chatbot and said, I want to analyze my data in Google Colab. Can you please generate a prompt for me that will allow me to visualize the top 10 rows? This is the instruction that I got back from that chatbot. So if you want help in crafting your prompts, you could try that strategy. Just to explain what you're doing, explain what you're trying to refer it to, and it would help you generate a good prompt. Perhaps prompt cowboy as well might be useful at this point. I'm giving you the example of how it could be done. And I'm also including comments explaining, I request that includes comments explaining each step. So assuming that we've never done this before, it will give us some guidance about what's been done. So I'm going to press the send button that was there. You can see that code is there. And now as you scroll down in this little window, you will see that it's now starting to think through the question that you've just asked. And it's probably going to give you some instruction. So you can see behind the box, there's this green text, which has now just been inserted behind me. So it's generated that code. It's pushed it in there. It wants to know if I'm happy to run it, to X1, accept the change, and 2, to run it. So you could press accept, and then that will just keep it ready, or you can press accept and run, and then it will execute the code that it's been generated. So I'm going to press accept and run. I'm going to zoom out a bit so I can see what's going on. And I'm noticing that it's showing me data. There was an error at some point, but I think it found a problem. And so now it's trying to fix that problem, and it's telling me that it's doing something else. So I'm going to press accept and run again, just so that it can continue to resolve that particular issue. So you wait for it. And so colleagues, once you've done this, you will notice that you have now potentially run your first Python script. And so you are now one step further into your quantitative research career, as it were. And so part of the instruction was that we would also output these results that it's generated into a PDF file. So that output you'll see has now come out under the sample data folder. And so if you download that file, you should be able to view the contents of that. So I'm going to save that and open it. Hasn't done this perfectly. You could tell it to fix it, but it's tried to export this into PDF. You'll notice it's overwritten on mine some of the text, but I think the data is there. It just it needs to get the font size right and and visualize it properly. But the data is in that PDF to begin with. There was a hand, was it?
Good morning,
Megan,
everyone. Can you hear me?
go ahead. Yes, I can.
So just a quick question, not on this specific exercise, but let's say, because I've got a background in public health, and then years ago, I graduated with my master's in epidemiology. So the issue I'm having now is that I did my analysis for my master's with Python, and I used Google Colab specifically. But because that was 2 years ago and I haven't been able to secure a job, I find that my downfall is when I do go for interviews and they do give that assessment that they usually do that has a bit of data analysis, because it's been so long since I've actually used that skill. There's a lot of things that I tend to forget to do or forget how to do. So if I had to use AI for my analysis in that type of a scenario, I don't know how to pose the question, but would it be ethical then? Or would it be seen as like sort of trying to cheat the system?
I don't know if you're cheating anymore, because if they ask you to use Colab to actually analyze the data, Colab has the AI embedded within it. It's part of the tool. And so now you're using the feature that's there. I'm wondering if there's any other coders that are in the group that might have a take. I know there was a colleague that was there yesterday from FNB, and they have issues about using AI for their coding because they're worried about uploading data system information about their systems into a public chatbot. So perhaps there might be those sorts of concerns about using these free tools and exposing your proprietary information that way. That could be the concern, but I'd be keen to hear what other colleagues think about that particular issue. Megan, am I answering your question, or you have another thought?
So I think it's more specifically because with the interviews per se, they usually give you like dummy data and a bit of dummy questions. So it's not necessarily linked to any specific project. So I think I just, maybe because I was viewing it as if you're using AI, then it's not your own knowledge. So I'd be able to interpret the results that the AI would give me. But in terms of doing the actual coding, I think that's where I'm lacking. So I don't know if it's going to be seen as, like a lack on my behalf.
I don't think it's a lack. I mean, you work within the confines of how the organization operates. If they say don't use AI to generate it, okay, then fair enough, you follow their rules. If they haven't stated that, everybody that's coding these days knows that AI is out there and that you can use it in some form to do your work. So is there a policy in place, I guess, that you need to abide by? If not, I think it should be a fair use for you to apply the tool to solve whatever problem it is that they have.
Thank you so much.
With Zigzag? Yeah. You have a comment?
Thank you. Yeah. Yes. I wanted to say to the previous question, I'm a senior lecturer at VETS, teaching demography, and we do a lot of data analysis. And my advice is we ought to use AI as a tool to implement tedious tasks that we know how to do. And we ought to use it as a platform to learn. Whatever it generates for you, you need to be able to understand what it is doing and the codes that it is generating. It's not always that AI platforms give you the correct codes. For instance, sometimes the codes they give you don't run. I'll give a simple exercise, a simple illustration of when one is running a test of independence between distributions of two variables. Some AI platforms will give you For instance, if you're using data that we normally use in teaching, it gives you a command that it would run on SPSS and does not run on Stata. And I've seen that in our postgraduate students. They go and get a command from AI and they do not know whether it runs or not, and then they just attach it as part of their submissions. And when we verify to see if they really indeed implemented what the command does, you would notice that it is not applicable to the statistical program that they are supposed to use. So my advice, I'll go back again to say, let's use AI as a tool that will help us to implement the things that we know we are able to scrutinize if there is something wrong. If it gives you answers that might appear correct, you need to be able to diagnose them personally. Yeah, that's what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I'm glad to have your input here. I think it gives some context to the discussion. So it's important for us to be able to understand what's being generated and to be able to defend it. What we're trying to do in this program is to introduce colleagues to new methods of performing this analysis, so that it opens up the space for more of us to try and use it. But it's important for us to understand the type of analysis that we're trying to do right now. I saw two questions about people that had the code generated, but the PDF didn't come out. So I'm also trying to, I had a problem with my PDF where the text was overlapping between the columns. And so I asked it to, in a follow-up question, I said my PDF was generated, but the text overlaps between columns. Please ensure the table data is well spaced out and easy to generate. Please generate a new file. So I just asked it to do that, and it created a new file, exercise 3A1.pdf. And so I will download that and have a look to see if it solved that problem. Still not great. Nizam, you have a question?
Hi. So I'm just a bit stuck at the window where we've run the step. And it says explain how to use Report Lab to export to data PDF. I'm in the right space. Or there's another tab that says generate code to visualize satisfaction column. I was just a bit stuck with what should we click now?
If you scrolled in, did it generate a table for you or with some results of that information? Something that I've got on my.
Yes. When you scroll down, you see the green text, and then if you scroll down from that, you see the table. Yeah.
So what we were trying to do there is just visualize that there is data that is in that file. So confirming that we have got that. And then I've tried to export this information in this table to a PDF. You'll notice mine is struggling to get the information captured properly on the PDF itself.
Okay.
But this thing, you could have a back and forth with it to try and improve the output layout, but it's just to show you how you would be able to work with it. A few colleagues also said that they didn't get the PDF. Maybe you didn't find it, or perhaps if it didn't get generated and it's not visible on your exercise 3A, perhaps the AI had a problem in generating it. And so you might need to just ask it to do that again.
Okay. I see it. I think it's just giving me three options of other things to do. The one is explain how to use Report
Correct.
Lab. The other one says generate a code. And the other one says show descriptive statistics. So I can just ignore that. I don't have to choose anything there.
You don't have to. It's trying to help you with your next step. And so it's giving you possible scenarios that you might want to attempt.
Okay.
Chantal, you've got a question?
Yes, Mr. Chetty. So my screen looks completely with too many things going on. So I have the what you said, everything is new to me. So please bear with me. I have the Python window code like this, right? And then I have the window where I have to put in the prompt. So I put in the prompt, and then something happens. It says generating and then a few tick boxes, but nothing is actually happening. And at the back of this instruction, we have to do the prompt. There's like also sits behind that. It's not giving you the option to rename the file like you renamed it. So mine says here at the top, getting started with Google Colab. So I managed to upload the CSV file. I managed to put in the prompt, but I'm struggling to get the actual output and also to rename the project if that is the proper term to use.
Yeah, sorry, the audio is not very clear, so I'm struggling to hear what you said. So I imagine you've been able to put the prompt in, but it didn't generate as you expected.
Yes.
So if you're having a problem in that respect, perhaps you could try again, copy the prompt in again, and let it try run again, and see if it gives you the output that you need. What we're trying to do here is just visualize the data that is there, just to get a sense that we have been able to read the data that's in the CSV file. Okay, colleagues, I'm going to move on to the next exercise, which is, it's the second part of this exercise. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to put in the next box. So after we've accepted and run the code, we're now going to create a, if you had any errors, by the way, please, if it complained and didn't go any further, you can type in, please debug and try again, and then it will try and fix that problem that was there before. But after that's done, what we'll do is we'll click on the plus code button on Colab, and we're going to be able to now generate the next prompt. So I'm coming here back, go back to my next blue box. I'm copying that prompt out. I'm going to go back to Colab. I'm going to create a new code box. So if you zoom in a bit. So you look for the plus code, and you press the plus code. You should have a new box that's been created and it's highlighted in blue. I'm going to press the generate link again. I'm going to paste in my prompt. And we are going to execute that code. So now this part of the exercise is much more involved. And so what we're asking it to do is to, based on the data that we've just uploaded, it's recognizing that that data has been put into what's called a data frame. And by the way, this is also what was suggested to me by ChatGPT when we created this prompt. And so the data frame will help it recognize where the data is, and then it's going to generate Python code. And now we're asking it to generate frequency tables, and we're giving it specific variables that we want it to focus on based on what we understand about the data. So we're telling it about gender, age group, education level, satisfaction, trust level, recommendation, usage, and frequency. Then we're asking it to generate frequency tables with percentages. We're asking it to visualize the top 10 most interesting frequency distributions with bar charts. We wanted to use clear labels and titles for the visualization so that it's clear what's being generated, and then export all of that to a PDF. And that should come back to you as exercise 3b.pdf. So the export function is exporting what it's generating on the screen. And so it's just taking that and pushing it into a PDF. I'm trying to give you something that you can take out of the tool once it's done generating. There's a hand. Who is it? Cindy, can go ahead.
Krish, I wanted to ask, with regards to obtaining the data, so some publications, they want you to send them a script of your analysis, particularly if you're doing statistical analysis. So how do you generate that for AI resources such as these?
So they ask you for a script before they give you the data.
No, like when you publish a paper with certain journals, particularly a population paper. So we once worked on a few papers where we were requested to submit the script. Luckily, we were using Stata, so we sort of submitted that Stata script we were using. I just wanted to find out if it's possible to generate these kind of scripts.
So what I would
AI.
do in this instance, depending on wherever you're publishing it or whatever the requirements are, I would first give the prompt. I would generally, I'll put that in my methodology to say, this is the prompt that I use to first analyze the information. And then I would say, based on that prompt, it generated a particular Python script. And so here you would be able to review that script. It's what's being generated in that box. So you can see that the script is there behind it. So you have the script first, which gets created, and then it automatically executed that script. And what's nice about it, it does comment the script that's been generated. So all the writing that you see in green, that's a comment that's associated with the explaining what it's about to do. So this does help with understanding the code that is generated. So if you want to know more about what it's doing, you can go into that and read more about what's being done.
Thanks, Krish.
And Nizam, you can go ahead.
Hi, just a side question. When we upload our thesis and run it for AI or for plagiarism, will all of this work that we're doing not flag and come up and say that intensive usage of AI or something like that? Or will it be covered under the waiver in the beginning of the thesis where we say we've used AI for A, B, C, and D?
Well, the outputs that are being generated here is one is the code that is being generated, and two is the results that code is producing. So the results that it produces wouldn't necessarily be an AI output. That's a result of the formula, and so I imagine that in your methodology, you would explain the process that you've applied, and you could say that my code is AI generated.
Okay.
But that would be flagged if that's a concern. I don't know if these things are disallowed per institution.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
So it's probably be case by case to try and figure it out. So colleagues, we've inserted that prompt, and it was quite a heavy one. We're asking it to do descriptive analysis, to generate many tables and to visualize it. So there's many steps that are involved in this exercise. And so to do this, we are asking it to accept. Well, first it's reading it and it's going to generate a few steps. So it's saying I'm going to identify categorical and numerical columns, generate frequency tables, generate summary statistics, identify top distributions, visualize frequency distributions, and export to PDF. So it's recognizing the steps. And so let's press accept and auto run. And so it's going to now work out those steps and start going through it. And so you see it's got a list that it's going to now work through to generate. And you can watch the progress that it makes as it goes through. You say? Petronella, go ahead.
Krish, now some of the colleagues are just asking for a comfort break. It's been a lot.
Yeah, let's take a. I think while this is running, colleagues, we'll take a 5 minute break. Not 5 minutes. Let's say 10 minutes, and come back at 5 to 11. I think that's a good time to break. Thanks, Petronella. I got a bit lost in the exercise.
Okay.
Same. Which is going. Okay, thanks everyone. I think we're on our way back into the rooms now. We'll continue with the exercise. So I had mine. I was busy with exercise 3B, shall we say. And I asked it to generate. And I noticed on mine that it didn't generate the charts. And so I've just asked it to generate a set of charts again based on that. So it says it's done it. Let me have a look. So I see the frequency analysis is here. Summary statistics are here. They said they would. It's the code is there. Let's see if we can find the results. Yeah, let me see if it was put in the PDF. Here's my results. Didn't get the charts back, but I've got some data back behind it. So a little bit of hit and miss, but I am starting to see results coming back. Yeah, I'm wondering, colleagues, if you had different results to mine. So mine worked decently well for just giving me frequency analysis, but it could do more with creating the graphs. I can be specific in follow-up prompts and say, please visualize this particular variable, and it should work on that. You could inspect the results a little bit more closely, and then see what's generated. And I'll pause here for a while as people come back into the rooms and just see if there's any more questions on exercise 3B before we move on. If it doesn't come right the first time, you can also try again. I'll try it again just to see if I get better results the second go. What's that? Oh, others have got graphs. Okay. You see, it's different for everyone. It's based on how the AI works for you. So I see Kim Jacobs has had it generate some graphs for her. They look quite good. Okay, mine is still running. We're accepting it. Very nice. So Kim's analysis was nice color coding there. So it's your luck what you get back. So let's see what I've got now in my second run. Put it. I think mine is replaced last. Oh, let me try create a new project. Alex, I'm just trying it one more time to see if I can get better results before I move on. Data.
I have a quantitative graphs that I'm supposed to do.
So Lynette, on your problem, perhaps what you can do is then just ask a follow-up question in the chat there and actually punch in what you've just typed in. You can say, I've received the tables graphs, but the AI did not export to PDF. Please try again or please try generate the PDF again and see if your results come back. I'm going to do this one more time.
Enterprise.
Chantal, I see your hand. Are you able to? We can go ahead, Chantal.
Yes, Mr. Chetty, I actually managed with the charts. So I have some charts here, but I also don't have the PDF.
More.
Yeah, so you could try ask it to generate the PDF again and see if it will do that. The PDF should exist somewhere on the left-hand side. Kim says you might need to refresh the file list to see your. Okay, that's also good tip. So the refresh button is there next to the upload button, colleagues. Perhaps if you don't see it on the first one, you can try refresh there. So I'm just waiting for mine to generate before I go on to the next exercise. So if you've had success with that one, exercise 4 is similar, but it's focusing on performing the chi-squared test on the variables. And so a chi-squared test is looking at the relationships between categorical variables that are in your data. And so we've left it very loose. We've told it to analyze the data and perform chi-square analyses on those results. And you can then have a look to see what it actually generates. It'll be follow the same process where you create a new code box, ask it to generate that code, put in the prompt, ask it to generate the code, and then wait for the results and just follow the prompts where it says accept and continue, accept and run. So I'm getting some statistics back on this new version. And I've got some charts come back on mine. So you see, if you fail the first time, you could go out and come back in, try a new project, and you might get better results on the second go. Sometimes it gets stuck in a loop and it struggles to generate. Let me see what my new PDF looks like. I'll download that. A little bit better. Oh, and I've got my charts in my PDF as well. Yeah, so there you go. Okay, we'll do the next exercise together. Exercise 4. I press the plus code button here. And now I'm going back to the lesson plan. In the lesson plan, you'll notice, colleagues, I've shared with you screenshots of the step-by-steps, the steps that you take in each go, just to help guide you if you missed something along the way. And so here we are long prompt, the difference here is just to ensure that it's getting it right. We've also told it what particular code library to use to perform chi-square tests. And but we're telling it what variables, and we're giving it some information about how it should go about performing that chi-square. So I'm going to copy that, then come back to Colab. Close this, make sure I'm working in the new box, and then click on the generate there. Paste in my prompt. Run. So we basically, this is the sequence of steps that we follow, colleagues, with Colab. It's, you got to know where you're generating your code in, and you've got to see the results that it generates coming out, and you follow the guidance that it offers. But also recognize that AI does make mistakes. And so you've got to work with it until you get what you want to come back. There was a question. I see a long question. Oh, Petronella. Oh, the prompt. Okay. Okay, so I'm waiting for it to execute the chi-square test now. So in this one, it takes a little bit more time than what we experienced yesterday, when it's more instantaneous. There's more thinking that's involved here. There's a longer series of steps that the AI needs to follow. The Colab is actually, it's got an AI agent involved there. If you see the way it's performing each of these steps, this is the steps that an AI agent is working on. Dr. Mulawai. Yeah, so the download is, let me zoom in on my screen. You should find it under sample data. If you can see where my mouse is on the screen, there's a 3 dots towards the end of that pane where the file should be. You press on that. Once you click on those 3 dots, you should get the option for download. And then once you download, you press that, it will tell you where to save it. And you can then save it somewhere. Okay. My exercise 4 is just completed. I'm going to have a look and download that. So my formatting is not great, but I'm seeing results of where it's comparing the different variables together. So you need to check if it's gone through all the variables that you're interested in, just to see how well it's doing that. My PDF has got very weird sizing. Each box here is a different page, and you'll notice the page sizes are very different, but the data is being pushed in there. You should be able to see your data if you scroll through. So my frequencies, my statistics, my tables here performing the chi-square, some of the analysis coming back, the comparison, chi-square statistic, it's recognizing the p-value, interpret results. More results here. And then it's got a summary. Chi-square tests were performed on the following pairs of variables, age group versus satisfaction, gender versus trust, education versus recommendation, and usage frequency versus satisfaction. For all tested pairs, the p-values were greater than or equal to the significance level, indicating no statistically relevant association between the variables at this level. So that's what you need to know, and that's a finding. And so unfortunately, you can't do much more with that, but it will give you a sense of what you can do with your data. Susan is saying that hers is laid out quite nicely. Let's have a look at how Susan one was generated. Okay, so you got nice formatting on your one, so that looks pretty good. There's a hand. Chantal?
Mr. Chetty, I am just struggling with the folders on my left hand side. The panel here on the left hand side, it's not showing the initial folders. I was trying to download the PDF, but then somehow I got the folders mixed up, and now I can't get back to the folders that were there in the beginning.
Yeah.
So I'm not familiar with the interface, so that's why I'm struggling to find my way back.
Yeah, I want to help you with that. So maybe it will help others as well that are struggling with the same problem. We've raised you to presenter level, so you should be able to share your screen. Yeah. Can you share, and then we'll have a look to see what it looks like on your side.
Okay, I will try. I think it's this.
Oh, great. Okay, I've got it. Okay, so what are all? So if you scroll down there, it seems like there's a lot of libraries are visible.
Yeah. So do I scroll down by this?
The left-hand side, yes. I think you are in the programming space. Let me just find out what the right one is. Can you close that window on the left-hand side so you have that X there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if you close that, and if you open it again, if it will, and you go back to that files icon there, it's taking you back there. Not yet. Kim Jacobs is saying you need to unmount the Google Drive by selecting the Drive button with the line through it. Hey, let's try that.
Okay,
Chantal,
can
can
you
you go
repeat that?
go back to the Files button on the left? And you see the icons that you have there. You have the Upload button, the Refresh button. Yeah, Kim is saying press that one. And say Connect. Yours is. Chantal, perhaps what might be easier is for you to create a new project and then try it again.
Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, just go back to type in colab.research.google.com, create the new notebook project, upload the file, and then run that prompt for the 3B, as it were. Okay, colleagues, I'm going to move on to exercise 5. I'm just watching the time. We're getting closer to our, and we wanted to end the exercises around about 12:30 today. So we've got just about an hour or so to go. So we'll scroll down oh, sorry, I'm not sharing. So in this example, I've given you some more advice about how you might want to improve your prompt. Sometimes you can upload the prompt and say, can you make that prompt better? So that's something to think about. We keep going. I'll look for exercise 5. This one, we're going to perform t-tests based on any variables that might be number-based in numerical variables in the data. So I'm going to copy that and see how it performs these sorts of tests. Go back here, generate the code, paste the prompt in, and execute that. Okay, so it's looked at it, it's given me some list of items. I'm going to press accept and auto run. No beeps today, so the rooms are very quiet. But I can see everybody is hard at work, so I'm glad. Yeah, Makosazane. Makosazane, that is right. So it kind of puts the code up front, and then below it, it's got the results. So that's normal. My Ranger says, please show the prompt. So this was the t-test prompt. And so it's looking at the different variables. We asked it to do group means, standard deviations, t-statistics, p-values, and then interpret that, and then to create a box plot. Cindy, are you having some difficulties? There's a hand. Well, first we go to Nizam.
Hi, Krish. So on the previous run, I just got my results back, and everything is green ticks, but there was one at the bottom that says summarize of results failed, and then it says, sorry, I ran into an error. Could you try that again? So out of all the things, there was one that didn't go through. So do we just accept it, or do we run the whole thing again? It's just a summary that didn't come through.
You could then put in, if you can see what's missing and what's gone wrong, you can then punch in your question there in the chat to say, I see there was an error with this particular issue in generating that. Can you redo that one and see if it can continue from there? The little bit of guidance helps it to overcome whatever block that it found.
Okay, but I think I'm falling behind now. I'll go to the next one, exercise 5 now. Thanks.
And the process is the same for all of them at this point. It's taking the prompt in, getting it to run, and then looking at the results. See, so it's a bit of trial and error at times.
Yeah.
Just to get it to generate.
Okay, thanks.
Colleagues, I want to show you something else that you can do. So mine is generating some nice graphs here, but perhaps I need to understand this a bit better. So what you can do is copy your code. If you want to understand what this code is doing, you can copy that code, take it to any AI chatbot, and you can ask it to explain what this is doing. So you just, what I do, colleagues, top tip for you, if you're working with a chatbot and you want to insert a line break, you press Shift and Enter together, and that lets you add a line break. So I say, please explain to me what it is, and then I just pasted the code in. I'll run it, and now it should explain this code in natural language. Okay, so you lost. You were driving for 30 minutes. Now you can't keep up. Yeah, I'll just recap now quickly. Okay, so Nicolene, this is most likely the most important module in the program. We need to master it. Thank you. This is a little bit more tricky than the others. It's something new. In fact, we're also just getting to grips with this tool. It's new on Google Colab as well. So yeah, perhaps hot off the press for this training. Mufutso, you can come in.
Yes, thanks, Chris. Good morning. I agree with Koketso, but what I'm seeing on my screen is for the t-test, there is somewhere where it says empty cell. Do I have to put anything there?
No, it's just analyzing the data and it's recognizing the gaps and it will work around it. Did it get stuck? Did it crash?
Okay, so I should just run the prompt. Okay.
Yes, run the prompt and continue.
Okay.
Okay, so I just want to help you catch up. So the few exercises that we're on, I think exercise 5 now, but from exercise 3 to exercise 5, they're very similar in the way you work with it. So if you're starting, you would go to a project called colab.research.google.com. I'm going to put that in the chat for you. And then you create a new project. And so sorry, I did that very quickly. So when you go to Colab for the first time, if you haven't signed in already, you should get this pop-up. You're going to want to press this new notebook button in the bottom left corner. And once you press that, you should see something like this. And so this is the general interface of Google Colab. You can name your project here at the top. And so you can then call it whatever it might be. I'm doing this many times, so I have different variations. And then what we're going to do here, Gogetso, is that we're taking the data and we're uploading it into, gosh, I don't know why I'm getting pop-ups. We're uploading that data into Google Colab. To do that, you want to use the files icon on the far left, which is this button here. If you can look at the screen, you see where my mouse is. You press that, it's going to create this pane again. And you have to wait until it generates that structure that you see there. So what that means is it's setting up the environment for you to work with it. And then once you do that, you can now, after you've downloaded your data off the Google Drive, you can upload that one of the CSV files that was in there. The CSV was called mockdata.csv. Okay, so I've got my mock data, and you can upload that. It gives you a warning. And once the data is there, you should see it in the files pane on the left-hand side. And then you come to the central coding box, and you're going to press generate. And when you press generate, it's going to open up a chat window for you. And to help you jump forward, I would suggest you use the second prompt under module 3. And so if you scroll through, exercise 3 on module 8. So scroll through on exercise 3 until you find that second blue box. This is the first blue box. And we will go to the second one and then copy this prompt as it is. So this is going to read all that data that's there, and it's going to generate some frequency analysis and compare all these different variables that are mentioned. And so you punch that in, and then once it's pasted in here, you press the send button, which is this little triangle in the bottom right corner of the chat window. And yeah, press that. And it's now going to analyze the data, analyze your prompt, and come up with a plan of how it's going to perform all those tasks that you mentioned. And so it's read it, it's come up with an idea of what needs to happen. And so if you're happy with that plan, you say accept and auto run. And it works out the steps that it's going to go through, and it will generate, once it's complete, and if there's no errors, it will generate results. And in this left-hand pane, the last task that we asked it to do was to take all the data that it generates and put it into a PDF. And I'll explain why we're putting this data into a PDF just now. We're going to use it as for our next bit of analysis that we're going to do. So while that's running, you should start to see results come out up there. So Koketo, I hope that's helpful. And so that will get you up, and then you can do exercise 4 and do exercise 5 as well. Laura De Silva, I will be offering crochet lessons for the statisticians out there. Okay. Well, I guess the question is, does this empower the statisticians, or I would love to hear from a statistician what's their perspective on using this tool, and is it helpful, or are you concerned about what this means for your career?
We have one in the room, which
Brenton, if it's asking you to install PyReadStat, you can tell it to go ahead, and it will apply that within the pane. PyReadStat is probably one of the libraries that it uses. Susan, will we be running this again soon? I need to wait for my voice to recover, but we'd probably like to do this again. We just have to figure out timing. And with more of us coming on, please do spread the word about how it works, and then we can try and bring more colleagues in to join in future. CPUT?
Krish, there was a suggestion from the room. No shame. I would just like Krish
Okay, I got an aquastat 2,000 years ago. I don't know what's going on anymore. So I was wondering whether a more basic level, because if you don't know what the chi-square or all these concepts are, it's very difficult to sit here and take all of this in. So would it be possible to have sort of a step-by-step approach or like a scaffolding where we start with something easier, then we move on to the next and the next? I appreciate this, but I feel that it's sort of, it would have been helpful if it was like yesterday or sooner, because now I'm just like, you're out of it. But thank you very much. Just a suggestion. Thanks, Khadija.
No, I hear you. So there was my concern when we were doing this is were we jumping too deep into the water, as it were. I wanted to give you a sense of how you would use this to perform the tests, but it does require you to have a little bit of understanding about what these tests do involve, what the chi-square is, what the t-test is. It's basically we're looking for relationships. And when I get to, I forget, it's probably exercise 7, the exercise that we have there is to make sense of everything that is generated. So all these PDFs that are coming out, we're going to export the PDFs and we're going to put it into a chatbot and say, okay, now tell me, what did we learn? And then this will then read all of these results and it will give you a narrative understanding of what has come out. And so then that perhaps that could help just fill in the gaps of what we are doing. The other thing about working with AI is that you can always take the exercise itself and punch it into a chatbot and say, okay, tell me what we're trying to do here, break it down. This morning, in fact, on the way to work, I used the voice feature on ChatGPT and I had a long conversation about regressions and chi-squared because I wasn't feeling very comfortable. To be honest, I'm not an expert when it comes to quantitative analysis by any stretch of the imagination. But I have learned how to apply these different tools, and so I'm trying to blend that with what I do know. So you can work with the AI as well to help fill in the gaps, help build your understanding about what you're trying to do. Yeah. Another hand, Patrick. Can Patrick speak? Go ahead, Patrick.
All right, thanks so much, Chris. I think I lost you at some point. Why did we have to go back to use exercise 3? I think I missed that point.
There were 2 parts to exercise 3. The first one was just creating an overview. And the second part involved generating the descriptive stats. Was it the descriptive that you were struggling with?
Okay. All right.
The second part, Patrick,
maybe I think I'll go through the steps. And if I have any more questions, I'll let you know.
So what you can do, Patrick, like what I was explaining to Koketso, if you come to colab.research.google.com and you go there, you'd be able to open, you should see this window. You click the new notebook tab in the bottom left, that will open up a new pane for you. And so if you have to do that, you should see a blank space which gets created. And so this is where you would start working from, Patrick. And so you would press this, you'd start off by wanting to upload that file of yours, the mockdata.csv file that's in the share drive. So you press the file icon. Oh, it's complaining that I'm doing this too many times. Okay, I'll cancel here. I'll go back to the other environment. So you would have pressed the file icon. You should see this start to come up on your side. If you don't see it immediately, you just got to wait about 10 seconds or so. And then you should see sample data and this folder icon, which is there. Oh, I see. This is what Chantal did. She pressed on that icon. So how do you go back? Okay.
So
yes,
I just went out, Mr. Chetty, I just went out of the project and I opened it again, and then the original files were there. So these extra files disappeared.
okay, let me do that. Thanks, Chantal. So that was test 4, I believe. And so, Patrick, you would have then needed to upload the data, which is the mock data.csv is still there. And then you would click on this box. If you haven't got anything there, you click on that box and press the generate, and then punch in, copy in that prompt that we had on the second part of exercise 3. So the second part, I'm calling 3B, and it says create frequency tables, calculate summary statistics, etc., etc. Paste that in and then run that, Patrick. And you wait for it to think about what it's going to do. And then once it's happy, it gives you some instructions. You can then press accept and run. 2 comments in the chat. I managed to get PDF, but Report Lab or something like that had to be installed. Okay, so you've just got to keep working with it, Jolene. If it gets stuck, sometimes go out of it and come back in and see if that helps. Arthur's comment, AI isn't coming for statisticians' jobs. You need to know your stats before you can boss around tools like Google Colab. For us, AI is just a sidekick, never the superhero. Our jobs are safe. That's spot on. I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. It's a great hero.
Yeah, no, but we are all trying to be superheroes today. Thanks, Mr. Chetty. You made us. I'll put that on the screen so everyone can laugh. Yeah, who was this that shared it? Petronella, thank you, Petronella. Is my superhero symbol an M? I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm laughing today. Okay, we've done exercise 5. It's generated some outputs. Looks like it didn't finish everything on mine. 2 hands, Nizam. You can go ahead.
Yes, Krish, you keep on referring to PDFs. Are you referring to what we see on our screen after it has generated and executed the commands, those tables? Is it that, or is it a separate PDF that we should actually be downloading or extracting?
It's the same one. So the prompt, the instruction that I gave it to do was to first generate the statistics and then export that into a PDF. And you see it places it all under that sample data space.
Yeah.
And so you'll have the list there and you can download them from there.
When you say that, when you say downloaded, so is that the next step? Because I see the age group and I see all the tables. So is there another button I should click somewhere to download these things? When you say download,
download means, so you can see what I'm doing. I'll just take a step back. So here's my exercise 5 that was just generated. And you can see there's those 3 dots that are there. You got that?
Just one moment. I'm not seeing that now. I'm just seeing everybody's screens, everybody's pictures, like a gallery. Okay. Okay, I see it. Yeah. 3 dots.
3 dots. So you click that, and there should be a menu that comes up, and then you can press download from there.
Okay, so my one says sample data. It doesn't have exercises like yours. It has drop down. It says sample data, readme, California housing, or it says mock data. It just says
Okay.
mine just
So
says
I
mock
think
data.
what's happened on yours, Nizam, what I think has happened on yours is that it probably failed when it got to the point of having to generate the PDF. So you could either in the chat pane to say, please generate the PDF related to the exercise. If that doesn't work, you might want to just start it again
Okay.
and upload the data again and put the prompt in and get the results.
Okay. I thought I
Yeah,
was missing something. Okay, no
I
problem.
also had
Thanks.
a problem on the first one. I had to run it twice to get to it.
Gotcha.
Colleagues, I'm seeing here that mine didn't finish everything it was supposed to do. But let's just see what it's generated. I need to save it. Oh, actually, it did finish it. Looks like it's all there. Okay, so then we're on to exercise 6. So here we're going to perform the regression. And so the approach is similar. Again, we're going to open a new code box and then paste in the prompt that we have here. So copy that and go back to window. I'm going to press plus code. Get rid of that. Press the generate button. Now I'm generating my regressions. So the amount of effort it is between the descriptive stats and the regressions is about the same because it's all natural language. And you've just got to wait for it to understand what it's trying to do. Okay, so here it's got steps again of what it's going to do. I'm going to say accept and run, and I wait for it to generate those results.
Sorry, Mr. Chetty, I just wanted to ask. So in the case the AI tool did not generate everything, and now I want to continue with the next exercise. Can both run at the same time?
It will execute the code in one box at a time. So if it hasn't finished, maybe you need to wait for it to finish before you do the second one.
So we can't do it at the same time.
I think you could paste the prompt in there, but if you look at mine is running right now. I don't think I can paste or run a second command because it's got it. If I press that, it's going to stop the last one before it tries to run the next one.
Oh.
Comments are laughing at the chat. Okay, so while these regressions are running, I just want to speak about what's coming next. So here we are, we're generating these results for the regressions. You should have now a series of PDFs that are being generated once it's done. And then it's going to be a simple exercise of you downloading each of those PDFs onto your machine and then uploading them into a particular chatbot that you want to work with. And because it's all already in text, the chatbot should be able to read the information in the PDFs and then generate a narrative for you. And I've just got some explanations that come about how it should analyze that information. So summarize the data set, explain the statistical analyses performed, interpret the key findings in plain language, highlight significant relationships and predictors, provide 5 to 7 actionable recommendations. So you can change that as you wish. Chantal?
Sorry, Mr. Chetty, I forgot the other question I had. So earlier you showed us how to copy the code, but I didn't see properly like which part of the code should we copy and then take that to another tool and ask it to explain to us in natural language what the code is doing. So there's different colors, and I'm not familiar with all of these things, so I need to know which part of the code should I copy.
So what you can do is, as it's been generated, so if you know which particular exercise you're referring to, you can just follow that and then pull the, so this is just the generation. Let me see if I can find a script which is a little bit more complicated. Minutes. Okay, so here's one. So whichever one you pick. So let's say I'm copying this one. It's a little bit longer. I want to know what this is doing. You just select that text. So you'll look for where the code is in this box. So the box only has the code. It doesn't have the text that's following through there. So you copy that, and then I took it to Quen, and I basically said, please explain to me what this code is doing, and I pasted in the code that I had. So I'll do it again with the one that I have. Please explain to me what this is about. So let's say very simply. And so you run that, and it will then try and make sense of what that code is doing. So yeah, so you can just pick out which set of code you're interested in, and then paste it in here. You've got to try and just keep track of how the code is generated, so you can see where it is in the sequence. I need to look at it more closely to know which one came first, because sometimes they seem to generate out of sequence. Yeah, just follow your boxes, I think.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chetty.
Mine is busy with the regressions now. It's working on exercise 6. As soon as this is done, I'll save all of them and take them to the next one. I think I've done it already. So I will. So all the next exercise involves is picking out many different versions of this. So 3A, 3B, 4, 5, 6. So you upload all of those PDFs into your chat, and now we're going to get it to generate a narrative based on this. So you come back to your prompt, you copy all of these, copy the instruction that's there, go back to Quen in this instance, paste in that chat, that prompt. And once you've done that, it's now going to read all of these exercises. It's going to make sense of it. And it'll tell you what it's found. Chantal, you have another question?
Okay, Mr. Chetty, just to make sense of what we are doing now and to link it back to the question that was asked, I think it was on when doing statistical analysis, there was somebody who asked if they can create a script or a report and then give that for the publishing, the publishers when they wrote the article. So is this the same thing that she was asking, or is there something else?
This you're referring to the PDFs that I've uploaded now and the narrative that's being generated.
Yes. So is this the
So-
same thing that she was asking if the publishers ask her to provide a report?
Yeah, I think she's referring to the actual the code that's being generated. The code ran, it generated a series of tables. We've now uploaded those tables in PDF form into Quinn, and now we're asking Quinn to read it and to understand what all of these the different findings were saying. And so now it's interpreting what that means, and it's telling you what we found, and it will probably conclude with some recommendations. So if you're going to work with this, because all this is doing is just reading the data, it's not doing the analysis itself. The analysis has been done with what's in the PDFs. Now it's trying to just give you a narrative that you can follow. So here it's saying we've had responses from 2,000 users. It's finding the largest age groups is 25 to 34. It's got some percentage distribution there. It's showing me the gender balance that we have, the education makeup. So all of the descriptive analysis that was there. It's telling me what tests were done for the chi-squared. All of the p-values were above 0.05, and so none were statistically significant. Age and satisfaction are not meaningfully linked. And then in terms of the t-tests, users aged 45 to 54 rated ease of use significantly lower than those of 25 to 34. Well, it's hard to say that makes sense because the original data in this exercise was AI generated, colleagues. So it's don't say, yeah, this does reflect what we would expect because it's just whatever mix of data the AI would have come up with. What we're trying to show here is the process and how you would go about analyzing it. So none of this data is actually realistic or meaningful or could be depended on. I'm trying to show the process that one would follow to analyze this. Okay, and so it's just, it keeps going through it, and so it gives you some insights and it gives you some recommendations that you would follow. And so now you can act on this however you might. Of course, you want to check everything that's there, and perhaps you want to take this maybe to your statistician in the team and for them to go work through all the information that was generated to help you determine if this was done correctly or if there's any errors that are in the process. But potentially this gives you that first step in to have a sense of what the data is telling you, what's in there. Let me go back and just see if my exercise 6 is finished. Finish the task. Okay, so colleagues, you all probably have different results in some form. So I've got some different colors now, different statistics coming out, different graphs and so on. Yeah, so it's an interesting analysis that's being performed. I wanted to also show you that it's possible to work with an SAV file, a SPSS file. So we have one SPSS file here in the folder that you can download. If I go back to that folder, you should find there's a TIMS Trends in Maths and Science Survey, which is the South Africa file from 2019. We were able to download this off the internet, so it's already out there publicly. And so you could then upload that file into Colab.
Okay, sure.
And then just in the same way that we've gone about analyzing the CSV files, you could analyze the TIMS file. What I'd like to highlight is that this is about a 20 meg file. And so you'll see it's busy uploading on my side. It might take a while before that file can upload completely. But the point is that you'd be able to perform data analysis on the SPSS file just as you would with the CSV file. And so once it's done downloading, you can see my bar is it's generating a circle and it's going around. The process is the same from here once the information is up there. Right, that's as it's going on. So with so that was exercise 8, colleagues, is to upload that file and then to query it with your own prompt. I leave that in your hands to try it out. What I want to do next, I think we've got a sense of how Colab works. And so that's quite a powerful tool that's there. But you do see that it does take a lot of effort. You've got to follow it step by step with what you're trying to do. I do want to show you how you might be able to do the same sort of analysis in Manus, Manus.IM. I spoke about Manus yesterday, and I showed you the steps that it can follow in analyzing the information. We're going to do something similar today. It's a new day. I've got a new set of credits in my account. Remember, I mentioned there's only 300 free credits in a day. Because this is a small file, I don't think we'll have too many problems analyzing the file in Manus. So I'm going to go to a new browser window. I'm already logged in, showing that I've got my 300 credits here up at the top. So I know I've got more space to work with. I'm going to upload my data. You could upload the CSV, you could upload the Excel. I'm going to upload the Excel for this one, just to show that you can. It's busy loading. The spreadsheet is in. Go back to my document. And I will copy the prompt that we have to analyze this. So you'll notice that I haven't given it anything too specific about what I wanted to do. I wanted to just look at the data and do various tests on it and then come back and tell me what's interesting in the data. So very bare bones in terms of what's said in this prompt. So you copy that and you'll jump back to Manus, paste that in. And once it's done, you paste it and then you wait for it. So Manus works by breaking down the project into steps, and then it will go out and try to execute that. So Maru, from reading your question, for SPSS, would the generated codes be the one you can use within the SPS interface, or would it be a Python? Everything that generates in Colab would be Python-based, and it would all be running in the Colab environment. It wouldn't be code that you can take out and put into SPSS. It doesn't generate the SPSS instructions. So yeah, you're working independently from SPSS when you're in Colab. And Suzette, random query, struggling to paste text in Colab. I can paste in other platforms, but in Colab, nothing happens when I say paste. Works when I manually type, but not. Suzette, I'm not sure if you're within the chat window. Maybe your problem is in the chat window. I'm not sure if it's in the main code box or the chat window. In the chat window, I haven't been having any problems pasted in there. Maybe you make sure you're clicking on that generate button first in the code window, because it's expecting you to type out your code, or requested to generate. So perhaps if you haven't click the generate link, it hasn't been able, you haven't been able to then paste the prompt in there. So generate, and then in the box you should find it. From Cindy. Oh, is there another hand? Chantal, you can go ahead.
Mr. Chetty, I am a bit lost. So we are busy with exercise 9 and we skipped exercise 8.
Where are we? Yes, I'm on exercise 8. I left exercise 8 with the SPSS file for you to work with. I was just trying to show you that you can upload the SAV file, and the process for querying the SAV file is the same as you would with the CSV files that we've been uploading.
And with regards to exercise 7, so
yeah,
with the PDFs that was generated, we had to download all those PDFs, and then what were we supposed to do with the PDFs? Were we supposed to upload it together with the prompt in Quinn, or just the prompt?
Right. PDFs plus the prompt. So if you had to just write the prompt in Quinn and you executed it without the PDFs, Quinn won't know what you're talking about. Quinn won't know what data we're referring to. So you're feeding Quinn the data, and then it analyzes the responses that are in those PDFs, and it generates that narrative for you.
Okay. No, I actually did it without the PDFs, and still something was generated. Okay, I will do that on my own at a later stage. Thank you, Mr.
Okay,
Chetty.
so then it would have just made up stuff in that instance, and nothing would really make sense at that point.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I've left exercise 8. I'm on exercise 9. We're working in Manus. And so Manus is going through a whole lot of steps. You can see it's working on, let me go right from the top. I'm sure it's got a to-do list here somewhere. So you can see it's working on code for each of the different functions. So it's doing descriptive statistical analysis here. Keep going, inferential statistical testing, regression analysis and modeling. And it's writing that Python code as it keeps going. And it's still busy. While this is working, I'm going to do the same thing in Genspark. Genspark is the competitor to Manus. It works the same way. I think I am logged on here. Logged on. You need to explain your process, I imagine. I'm just reading your question from Anandi. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, because Manus is doing everything. So what you'd need to do then, if Manus generated the responses, you'd want to then break it down and say, these are all the steps that Manus carried out. This is the code that was generated for each step. This is the output. So you've got a process that you've got to follow when defending that. And then you've got to explain that you've checked each step along the way to make sure that what it says it's done correctly. And so you want to then be able to stand by it. You don't want to say, I am co-author with Manus because Manus wrote this. You've got to, if you're publishing based on the analysis that it's done, you've got to check every step. So you've got to verify everything that it's done, so that you can then defend it and stand behind it. Module 8 was the SPSS. Who asked that question? Charlotte? Yeah, so what I did is I just wanted to show you that you can work with the SPSS file. We did not provide the prompt for you there. You could try it out yourself and just experiment and see what comes back. The point is that it does work with the SPSS file. And okay, I see. Right, I'm going to do the same thing in Genspark while Manus is still working. So it's this exact same process. For Genspark, you've got to click on AI Sheets actually, and then upload the data. So Genspark tries to give you different options. So here's the Genspark interface. You click on AI Sheets, so it's going to analyze the spreadsheet in this one. Okay, I'm going to attach my data. And I'm going to put in my prompt. Yeah, so you see the interface is a little bit different from Manus. And you just wait for the data to load. It's taking a bit longer than usual. So let's see how far is Manus is going. Manus has actually started to generate some impressive graphics for me. It's actually done. So you can see all of these files that have been generated are part of the output. And so let's have a look. I think if you press one of these, you can see what's been generated. So here's the comprehensive statistical analysis report, ease of use, distribution of ease of use, categorical variable distributions, inferential statistical testing, t-tests, regression analysis, some findings, and some conclusions. So after struggling with Colab for the past 3 hours, colleagues, I think you can understand the power of Manus, where it just executes all the steps. We didn't really give it much instructions, but it's been able to understand what it is that we were trying to do. So here's the entire report. And in Genspark, we can run the Genspark now as well. And I'm sure it will generate some results. It will take a bit of time, but it will get there. And I think I've given you an example of what it looks like. This is one of what I've generated in the past. Let's see what we get today. You can see it also creates Python code. So Python, again, is the language of choice for these tools. Yeah, I'm seeing more graphics when we to. Okay, colleagues, that's more or less it. You should see the output that's being generated soon from Genspark, and so you can compare the Genspark and the Manus versions. I think Genspark likes to create a web interface once it's done. Manus generates these reports for you. So you can, it gives you specific descriptive stuff, variable, but the first one had, I think, put everything together, which is that report. The more data that you have as well, when you upload it into the chatbot, the longer this will take, the more tokens it will consume. And so there would be a limit on how much you can upload into Manus to get it to work. appropriately. People making me blush. So lots of comics coming up. See you next year. So I got the sense from one of the questions earlier that we wanted to do it sooner than next year. And so we're going to need to work it out. In fact, colleagues, while this is running, what I will do is we have one last activity actually for you to perform for us, which will help. I'm going to put this up on the screen. We'd love to get some feedback. So I have a Google form which was created. It's just got a few questions. What did you like? What could we improve? Well aware that we had issues with sound on the first day and it was a bit disruptive. But feel free to comment on that and let us know your thoughts. Yes, we've got many queries about the recordings. It's going to take us some time to upload the recordings. Because it's been 3 days, we've started the recordings almost at about 8 o'clock each morning when we tried to get all the venues set up. So there's a lot of dead air in between. So we need to do some editing on all the recordings that are there. But once it has been edited, we will then upload it to our YouTube channel. And then we will share that with everyone that not only attended, but everyone who registered. So those that wanted to be here but couldn't, they have the opportunity to follow as well. In terms of next steps as well, everyone that has been in, we will be also sending you a certificate just to thank you for your attendance. And so Microsoft Teams keeps track of who's joined and when they joined. And so we'll use that data to identify who's been in the room. And based on the registration details, we should have your email address, which we will use to contact you. There was a hand from, Sarah, if you want to come back in, you can put your hand back up and we'll open up for you. Ucheri, we see your hand. You'd like to come in? You can do so now. I've been unmuted.
Okay, so I wanted to ask about the certificates. If you are not using your own gadget like myself, my actual name is Deo Mkwena, but I'm using someone's laptop. Can I get a certificate?
So you're using somebody else's account to sign in. Is that what you're saying? So when
yes.
I would see it, I will see it as Team Ucheri. So what you'd need to do is, I think, make a comment in the chat, please. So we'll follow that to say I'm associated with Team Ucheri, but my actual name is, and then we'll have to manually match that instance against the registration list to get your to get your email address and so on.
Okay, thanks.
So yeah, colleagues, that's a good example. So anyone else that falls in the same boat, please do just put a mention in the chat that.
Sorry, Mr. Chetty, can you maybe share the link for us to provide the feedback in the chat, please?
Or
should we scan the QR code?
You can scan it with your phone, but I'll put it in the chat as well.
Thank you.
One second. The questions from? Oh, sorry, Kim in Durban. You can go ahead. You just need to unmute.
Oh, okay. One of the guests here wants to ask a question, Mr. Chetty. Can you hear us on that side?
Yes, I can hear you, Kim.
You can ask a question.
Hi, it's Faisal Khan speaking.
Hi.
Can I go?
Yes, please go.
Yes, I would like to say I enjoyed the course. However, some things went over my head. I'd like to propose some things, the way forward. In terms of policy of universities and schools, computer literacy should be compulsory. There's the AI Expo in Sandton on the 29th of October, organized by the South African Artificial Intelligence Association. How much is the faculty or schools setting aside for AI research or postgraduates? If it's 1 million rand per faculty or school, half of it must be community-based. The academics are lacking in the community. And then from what's the way forward from here, from HSRC, from this workshop, will you have like a group email that we will continue to chat? I personally have a WhatsApp channel. It's called Teaching and Learning, AI for Educators, literacy, AI literacy. I can share the channel. Thank you.
Yeah, please, I think share those details in the chat so colleagues can have a look at it and join. If there's any instructions for joining the group, please also add that in. We try to think of how we can create a space where we can join more frequently. Yeah, we try to work out that. So maybe in the coming weeks we can have some plans on that going forward.
So that I put it on the
So it's okay, Kim. That's there. The second hand is from.
Don't worry, Mr. Chetty, I'll share the details on the chat.
Okay, thank you, Kim.
Welcome.
Oh, Marida, you're welcome. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Krish. Thank you for the team as well for such a wonderful workshop and the training. I can't type on the chat. I don't know why. Maybe I'll just external something. Also one of those that I register with my Gmail, but I'm using my NMMU. It's actually Marida from NMMU, Nelson Mandela. So, but I couldn't put that on the chat. I don't know why.
But I think we should be able to match your name against the name that you use to register.
Okay.
In some of the instances, people are on a completely different account and it would be more difficult for us. But these, whoever's worried that there might be an issue where we might not be able to identify you, please capture your details in the chat so we can do some cross-referencing to make sure the details are in. Yeah. More questions? From Cindy, you can go ahead, Cindy.
That's not how I should.
I'd like to thank you, Krish, for this informative training. And I just wanted to find out where to from here, because I'm part of the computational division at UCT, and we organize quite a lot of training, and we're looking at having training trainers in AI and how they can effectively use it in education and training as well, particularly across Africa. However, I think this course has sort of set a precedence for me to now start focusing on how I can integrate this onto AI. So I wanted to find out from you if there are any training initiatives that have looked at AI in training and education. And probably we can take it from there in terms of conversation around that.
So we carry out this. So this is the first time that we brought so many different institutions together in one program. And it's been a little bit more complicated to make sure that we have a team big enough that can be available in all the different spaces to assist as needed. In the past, we've done it institution by institution, and we would have a one-on-one in almost in those rooms, and so it's a little bit easier to do so. So I think you mentioned you were at UCT. Perhaps we could do something with your colleagues in UCT. That could be possible.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all a matter of planning. We tend to try and customize the program based on what people are interested in. So yeah, so that could be an option. So please do stay in touch, I think, and we can try and work on future programs.
Thank you, Mr.
And I like what you were saying about train the trainers.
Yes.
So because we want what we do to be able to spread, and so that was also some of the intention here, was to have more people to become familiar with this. So I said this on the first day, that I wanted everybody that's here, that's joined us, to act as some sort of ambassadors, to say, I know this is possible, I'm still learning, but I'd like to share what I know with others, so that more can learn from that. And so it's our mission in some way to be able to build that awareness wherever it might be. Kim, is that a new hand in Durban, or is that the old one?
Yes, Mr. Chetty. I wanted to ask if you're gonna send us the folders with the PowerPoints and the PDFs we're doing, so that I can share it to the people who are here.
Yeah, so that Google Drive folder is still up. I'm not going to take it down. So you can access everything from there.
Or I can share the whole link to them, right?
Yeah, you're welcome to share that with whoever's interested. And as soon as the recordings are ready, we'll add links perhaps in that folder to the recordings as well.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. The food soak?
Mr. Chetty, thank you. So I'm a student at UJ, but I joined with my office email. I work at the South African National AIDS Council, and I do like the comment of the previous speaker who said that if there could be a cascading of this, not to have trainers and then have trainer of trainers, and looking at the constituencies that we work with at SANAC, it will really be helpful, because we have got organizations that are also civil society sectors that are in the communities, and they've got community projects. Just wanted to say that. But I think we'll reach out.
Yeah, lovely. Please do reach out. There were colleagues from UJ that actually reached out to me at one point, and they wanted UJ to also be one of the hubs that we'd have connected. Unfortunately, we were at full capacity. Our team was stretched across all the different venues, so we couldn't spare somebody else to go to UJ.
Okay, it's probably at Pace. Probably it was is it not at Pacer?
Yeah, so we can try and arrange something with UJ in future.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, colleagues, I'm noticing various comments in the chat. I'm struggling to keep track of all of them, but I appreciate your feedback. What I want to do just before we close, just the last thing, let's go back and have a look at Genspark to see how it's done. So it's done this analysis. It's created a report. And so this is the report that is created. It's done a web variable, web version. It's more graphic. I wish they had put some numbers in here so I could see what it's about, but you can browse over it, and it tells you some of the interesting information that's there. And so it's associating trust. So it's interesting that this found different levels of significance compared to what Python had run. And so you'd want to test now, why is this these figures different? But yeah, it just gives you a sense of what's possible. So you can see it's a bit more graphical in the way it's laid it out. I'll stop there. Another hand from Durban.
No, it was the old one, Mr. Chetty. I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay, no problem. Thanks, colleagues. If there's no more questions, Patrick, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thanks so much, Chris. So which of the tools did we use to run the last report that you showed?
I put that into Genspark.ai. I think that was exercise. What exercise? Exercise 10.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah, and it was basically uploading the entire mock data Excel file and asking it to perform the analysis, and gave it a very basic prompt, and it just went through everything and analyzed it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. And I want to join the rest of the team here to say thank you, Chris, for this wonderful exercise. It's been great. It has opened our
Thank you,
eyes
Patrick,
to so many tools.
Yeah, no, you're most welcome, and thank you for always sticking with us and supporting us. Always appreciate your involvement.
Mm.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Cindy, you can go ahead.
Mr. Krish, I see quite a lot of people seem to be interested in the AI Train the Trainer program. So I will, I'm not promising anything. I will just present it to my line manager and see if, because they're starting a new African Bioinformatics Institute, so probably they might be interested into this. I'll talk to her first and find out if we can organize this. Then I will definitely keep in touch, because I can see it's already gaining momentum on the chat box. People are talking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I really like that, because with the trainer, you can go into a bit more detail as well. Perhaps we can move a little bit faster and in more depth.
Yes.
And then each one of us can go into our different corners and share what we've learned. So I really do like that idea.
Yes, thanks, Krish. And please also add me to the ethics and governance community of practice. I think I'll be pulling it onto my Train the Trainer, because we do have a community of practice on ethics and governance. Thanks.
No, lovely. You can drop me an email as well, colleagues, if you were interested in joining the COP. I'm trying to keep track of all the requests that I got. I got quite a flood yesterday. I think I received about 30 different emails of people wanting to join the COP, our community of practice. So yeah, kchetty@hsrc.ac.za, please, and I'll try and monitor that tomorrow. Not tomorrow, in the coming days. Tomorrow's Saturday. I need a break. Ziwe, over to you.
Okay. Yes.
You probably want to mute your. Liziwe, we've muted your laptop. You can speak through the Pretoria.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. The echo's gone.
Thank you. Sorry for that, for what happened earlier. I'm not sure, maybe you've already seen it, Krish. There's quite a number of requests on the chat asking, that yeah, you should do this again.
Yes, colleagues, I'll give you some background information. This all began with Liziwe's prompting and saying, let's launch something. And so this is really Liziwe's brainchild as much as anybody's. And so I'm sure she's going to keep us on track and make sure we get the next one planned so that we can keep the momentum going.
Thank you. Thank you, Krish.
Well, thank you, Liziwe. Chantal?
Hi, Mr. Chetty. I just wanted to say thank you so much for this wonderful 3 days. It has really been mind-blowing. I've learned so much, and I am still trying to process everything and see how I can, take this back to my community, within my work, in my own personal life and my studies. But yeah, I sent you an email because I also want to be part of the community of practice. I think the point that you made about infrastructure was very important to me, and ownership, and how we can basically give the community access to all of these tools, and how we can, as a country, build on this, and take our country forward. So yeah, I definitely want to be part of that. In terms of ethics, and since AI is now really taking up so much space, and there's a lot of new developments and how it impacts work, research. Um, so I am hosted at the Stellenbosch Business School within the research office, and I am employed as an intern at the HSRC. And while I'm busy with my internship, I'm actually learning about the various processes that goes on behind the scenes when it comes to researchers, their work, students, whether it is the PhD research that they are busy with, and ethics as well. So my two colleagues that I'm working with, they are assisting researchers as well as PhD students, providing research support services, a whole lot of things. But the research ethics, there was actually a report that was conducted, and there was a request or a recommendation that further SOPs needs to be created on the use of AI within research. So I don't know what Mr. Chetty and the HSRC's plan is with all the institutions like myself who has joined this training. But because all of these institutions, universities, they are focused on research, producing new knowledge. So I think in terms of the ethics point of view, a lot of new practices actually needs to be created. And it's like everything we are developing now ourselves, if I'm making sense in what I'm saying. So we are trying to figure out how are we going to deal with AI, and how are we going to assist researchers, how are we going to assist students. So if the HSRC and Mr. Chetty them can also maybe, I don't know, through a working group or whatever, form part with the ethics committees based at different universities, and work with those teams, because a lot is being asked about using AI ethically within their research. And also, like, I'm learning now, the students who has to apply for their PhD, but then they have prep, right? So prep is where they actually need to prepare their proposal and then submit it, and then they need to defend that proposal before they are actually accepted into the program. So if students are maybe making use of AI for their prep to apply to do the actual PhD, and they need to defend this, right? Then I think there's also some guidance needed in that process itself. So I think the community that we're going to form, and the COP, is very important. And then we need to look at different departments within universities that deals with knowledge creation, the research process, etc.
I hear you, Chantal. To be honest, we're still trying to figure out how we organize ourselves, and how we figure out how we use the I don't know how to put it, the power of the HSRC in some way, to be able to pull together different institutions and then share what we've learned with them and almost try and guide in some ways. It's something that perhaps we need to think about more carefully through the community of practice. I'm noticing Ashraf Ratcliffe, his comments in the chat. Can you find Ashraf's name there, please, and promote it? Ashraf, if you don't mind, you're a member of our COP. Perhaps you can add some of your thoughts about how we might adapt the COP so that we can expand and have it become more effective to engage with these sorts of issues. I'd love to hear your thoughts, Ashraf, before we go on.
Hi,
Sorry for
yes.
putting you on the spot, yes.
Hi, Krish. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
I can hear you, thank you.
Okay, yes, thank you very much. I mean, for me, the first exposure to AI in a comprehensive way via the HSRC was your, I think, foundational program. I think it's a 5-day program for the emerging and new researchers. And I think you repeated that program this year. I think it started last year. And in our experience here as a sort of a national institute supporting mainly the National Department of Health, because the NHLS, which is our mother body, provides laboratory diagnostic support for 80% of the population through the public health sector. I'm in one of the internal specialized institutes. The one deals with communicable diseases, which played a big role under COVID, and I'm in the occupational health one, the NIOH. So our exposure to that Friday session, I think that you led on some of the basic tools around AI, specifically for the purpose of research, made a big impression on us, and that's when we invited you to our biannual research day. I think it was November last year. So my exposure then to the community of practice forum has been amazing. And yes, you know, when one is not necessarily a sort of senior and experienced researcher, or you're not a very technically inclined person around tools like AI from either computer science or other sort of point of view. And today, I think, again, the combination of specialists from the people who do the number crunching, etc., and the joke around, you know, do we need to teach them how to crochet and so on? And somebody defended the profession around that, biostatistics, etc. That this is clearly an area that involves a multiple number of disciplines. So from the research point of view, at the NHLS, NICD, and NIH, for us, it's better not to put our heads into the ground, to a hole, and say, you know, AI is not for us because we are experienced and want to stick to the old school methods and the tried and trusted and what we are obviously comfortable with in terms of research and approaching research. So both the HSRC's sort of 5-day session, your input to our biannual research day at the NIOH, and this particular academy gels quite well with the concept of a community of practice, because it does bring together the I think complementary sets of disciplines, and then the additional concept of the kind of AI Fridays, and now emerging out of this conversation towards the end of the sort of AI train. The trainer is also touched on by Cindy at UCT. I think all of these things is what for the sort of community of practice, where you announce new initiatives, where you share new developments, latest developments, including some of the tools that becomes available, and focus quite a bit on real research projects that HSRC is initiating or undertaking and doing in collaboration with other institutions. I think that COP structure is quite critical. And I've heard, I think it was Cindy, you sort of repeatedly show an interest, and in the chat box, and I guess the dozens of emails you've received yesterday, that particular forum, the community of practice, is quite an important space for what the HSRC is pushing and initiating, and the great interest that is developing beyond just the ranks of the HSRC. So your work there, Krish and the team, I don't remember all the names now, Liziwe, etc., is important. Your institution, your initiatives are important, and you can see that there's a significant interest in expanding the capacity so that people can then cascade what you have done over 3 days with an additional trainer element to, I think, these 3 days would do much to sort of, almost, I don't know, let the ripples spread out in the pond or the sea or the lake. And for the cascading of this type of capacity building into other institutions, not just within our own borders, obviously, because I think there have been quite a number of people expressing interest, and in terms of your work in Africa as well. I'll pause there. I've got much more to say, but for now, thank you very much for the opportunity, Krish. Yeah, and also thank you for agreeing to speak to the NHLS's Path Rate conference on Saturday. That's my understanding. Yes, I think you're going to be online. I thought I'll see you there in person. I'm sure they offered you a flight as well, but after these 3 days, I can imagine that Saturday is another additional task and not burden for you, but drawing on energy. So thank you very much for that, Krish. What you've done over the 3 days is exactly what we had in mind for our own internal researchers within the 3 institutes or the mother NHLS, NICD, and NIH. And there's been amazing interest from the research structures, the research committees, etc., in that. So quite a number of colleagues, we've sent the link for the 3 days to. There was a bit of a clash with the Path Rate, which is a sort of a national type of conference focusing on all the major disciplines, immunology, etc., and so on. So thanks for this, Krish. And I think the little graphics that people have generated in the chat box, I think that's all well deserved. And I think that pat on the back is for you and the whole HSRC team and those even beyond HSRC that's supporting you. Much appreciated. I'll pause. I'll stop there. Thanks.
And thank you, Ashraf, for your ongoing support and those kind words. And I think you've been very clear about the different activities that we need to put together. I'd like to say that we need to be a bit more strategic in how we manage the COP, so that we do have that reach into the different institutions and see how we pull all of these things together. Yeah, so we've got to, I think, reflect on what we've experienced now over the last few days, look at the feedback that we're getting from colleagues, and then come up with plans of how we take on all of these different initiatives. I won't go too deep on that because I think we need to still work it out. So I won't make any commitments right now. But there's 2 more hands. I'll go to Ellen first and then Pretoria. Ellen?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chetty. Mine is just a question. I would like to know if it is possible that you can create a support group, a WhatsApp support group, or the community of practice, will it be enough to can give us support? Because especially with quantitative research AI tools that we did today, I still feel that I need more support. I know that we're going to get the recordings, but coupled with that, we will still need some form of support. Thank you.
Yes. So I think the AI Fridays that we're talking about is that facility that where we can have more regular connection. So we need to think about how we introduce that and manage that on an ongoing basis. And perhaps we need some other sort of group where we can become more accessible. So that's something that we can think about. Pretoria?
Hi, Krish. It's me again. It's Lizzie here.
Yes.
I just wanted to, the annual Emerging and Established African Research and Training Academy. That one was started in 2019. The one that we had this year was actually the 6th academy, So it has been running for quite a while now, and each year that we have it, it's growing, and also the partnerships that we have outside of the HSRC, those are also growing as well. So we normally have that around July annually. So it's advertised, Facebook, social media. Watch out, for that on the social media platforms as well. Like Ashraf, has mentioned, that is also another platform that is great, that actually looks at, all aspects of career development, especially if, you are an emerging researcher. So it's a great opportunity to attend that academy as well. That one, it's 5 days, full 5 days. Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to add that. Yeah.
Thank you, Ziva. Yeah, so colleagues, be aware, so we do have that annually. We've done one recently, a few months ago. We did the 6th one that Ziva mentioned. I would like to close, but before I close, colleagues, perhaps we'll do 2 things. First, I want to do a quick vote of thanks, and then I'll ask everyone to turn on their cameras, and we'll take a screenshot of the event. And in your different rooms, perhaps if you like, you can take pictures just to celebrate the occasion, and yeah, you can pass that on. But so to close, I want to thank everybody that's made this event possible. I'll start with Liziwe, who's actually been instrumental in just pushing us along and getting us to this point in time. Take some screenshots of this. I'll just print screen and put it into PowerPoint. Then we keep track of it. Yeah, so thank you, Liziwe, for pulling us together. We see you there. From CPU. From CPUT, I would like to thank Sasha West and Rosenda Hendricksa, who've been instrumental in bringing the CPUT campus on board, helping us with all the technical difficulties that we've had along the way, helping us with the facilitation work, being there for the early mornings. So yeah, I really do appreciate your help. From UKZN, we were led by Professor Nirmala Gopal, and her team. She's been ably supported by Kim Madebe. Kim has been instrumental in ensuring everything in Durban and in Pietermaritzburg has gone off well. And so thank you, Kim, for your organizing and your support there. In Pietermaritzburg, I'd like to thank Sianda Keswa for his work in coordinating all the activities in Pietermaritzburg. He came in very late and then had to do a lot of work to catch up with all of the different prompts and working through the exercises before we've got going. So thank you, Sianda, for coming in and helping bring Pietermaritzburg into the fold as well. We've had many facilitators that from the HSRC that have played a key role here, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being available and making yourself providing that support over the last few days. I'll start with Petronella, Lindiwe, Boitumelo, Chabakazi, Jackie, Tahia, Nwandu, Khadija, Kukanyile. Thank you, colleagues, for all that you've been doing and the support that you've been offering. You are our first line of support. You are the first round of trainers that we are training, and so as we continue to train the trainers, you will be the face of the future activities that we'll be doing. So thank you for all your support. Here in Cape Town, I'd like to thank specifically Gray van der Berg and Natasha Marcus. They're not in the room, but hopefully we'll pass on the thanks. They've been instrumental in ensuring that we have catering in some places, and they've been able to do a lot of organizing behind the scenes here in Cape Town. So our thanks to them. And my last thanks goes to one who provided the welcome at the start. It was Dr. Angelique Volskut. And one of the things she does is she runs the Future of Education Research Hub, but she's also PI on many projects that I am. And I went and I twisted her arm to try and get some funding for us to have this done. And she very graciously at the very late stage was able to provide us some funding. So my deep thanks to Angelique for helping make this come together. And then lastly, for every one of you, the 203 that we have still on the call right now, the many of you in the various rooms, thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for the interest that you have in this work, the passion that's coming through. I really do appreciate it. It's why we do this. And please do pass on the message wherever you might be, so that others can benefit from this. And we will continue to stay in touch. And we will work on these different initiatives that have been proposed over the especially now in the last session of how we continue this exercise, build on the momentum that we have today. So thank you once again, everyone. It's been quite a bit of a long road. It's gone quite quickly as well. So my thanks to all of you for your support over these last few days. Thank you very much. And we're busy taking screenshots now, so you, yeah. Lovely. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your weekends.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. That's actually
always do know quick on the subsum. So the other meetings, I'm quiet the whole time. You know, this is like, okay, colleagues. I'll send you the one. I'd like the question. I see there's a hand from Adlai. This with an old hand.
Was there a hand?
Yeah, from Adlai.
Adlai. Not now he sees dropped off already. Maybe he was trying to wave in the faces.
Yeah, the sun without getting the inches.
Dr. Paul, I see you've got your hand up. Paul, you wanted to make a comment? Paul Rangongo? Maybe it was an error. Okay, thanks, everyone. We're gonna switch off on our side. Bye-bye.